Ladies and gentlemen of the congregation. The wacky waving inflatable arm flailing people. Yes. Shim is going to be a little bit late, he said. He got home late and he had to get food, so he's going to be about 15 minutes late. So we're going to start with Sonic.
Oh.
I know, it's crazy town.
Oh, wow.
It's
You're
crazy
throwing me right
town.
into the thick of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Oh,
let me get it
yeah.
on my phone here.
Yeah.
No, like, secret DM or anything, but we're starting with you, Shem's later, whatever.
I'm throwing him into the deep end. No
You're
water
throwing
wings.
me.
Nothing. I'm not a helicopter papa, sink or swim, bitch. So open your holy books of Reamerism. Mm-hmm. You really are going crazy, says Revan. To 236 of the physical version. If we're on Comixology, what are we at?
On Bookwalker?
Or not Bookwalker, that's what it is. What the fuck is Comixology?
What is that? Yeah.
Shut up.
Are you okay, sir?
I mean,
Bookwalker, we are on page 250.
Okay. Me or them?
There we
go. No, I don't even. Why did you bring a thirsty lizard girl? That is the question. $2, John.
Never heard of the Lusty Argonian maid?
God
damn it, people.
And we are also 66% of the way through it on Kindle.
Bruh.
There's no page number. We've established this in the last couple of streams.
Don't look at me, man. I am losing.
I'm looking directly at you. I'm looking directly at you now.
I'm losing my fucking mind. I have $30 to my name, and somehow that is supposed to help me find the boxes and everything that I need to move my shit. Yeah. So. I don't know how this is gonna.
I'm looking at you for page numbers, not for $30.
I don't have the page number for your shit, dude. I don't know.
I don't either.
66.
It's 66% of the way in. Just look up Leon wasn't in Kindle.
Just Control F and look up Leon wasn't the only one thoroughly confused.
Well, Leon wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I'm glad it's not just me and Moon, apparently.
Bookwalker, Texas Ranger.
Don't make
Tim's gonna be in here like, what did you do?
Dude, I don't know what's going on, guys. I don't know what's going on. So I'm just very confuzzled.
With Shem or just...
I'm just very confuzzled with how Kendall does its stuff right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Read,
book boy.
I win.
Read.
Don't you whip me.
Learn.
I'm trying.
For those of you that didn't hear, the YouTube channel is currently down. So
I have my opinions. I've already posted about them.
We will find out in a few days if it comes back up or not. Yeah. Until then, we shall see.
my rumor voice there for a second.
Danielle will not be on tonight. So, okay, cool. Would have been nice to know that.
She was gonna be on?
Lady Chan.
They will not be coming in.
She was here before you jumped on. Then
I saw that.
To another call. Then we went over to another call, and now she's not going to be on.
She decided to stay in the other call. I see. She thought that was better.
No, she's not in that call either.
Oh, she just got off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
She gone.
None of us are good enough. I see. I see how it is.
Yeah, that's like...
She's got better things to do than hang out with us. That's fine. I'm not mad. I'm not upset.
Well, there's a field trip tomorrow, and she has to be awake and refreshed for that. So.
Oh boy, we're going on a field trip.
We're going on
in our favorite rocket ship.
A field trip.
Oh, you went for a different thing now.
Please let this be a normal field trip.
No.
With a twin. No way.
No way.
No way.
Cruising down Main Street.
Hold on,
relaxing, feeling good.
They went to other places. I went immediately to AMV Hell 3. So that's
God, I need to rewatch the AMV Hells, I guess, because I don't remember that. I do remember I was doing my report on the computer, and it was all like, beep, boop, beep, boop, boop, beep, 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 boop, beep.
It's
I
actually
don't
from a
remember which
commercial.
one that's in. It is?
Yeah, that's actually like the audio from that was from a commercial.
I can only see it as the girl from Azumagadayo with the dots in the background.
Yeah, it's actually from a commercial. The audio is pulled from a commercial.
Nice.
Yeah. Like the
I'm
audio,
gonna start
the
reading
audio
now.
that they grabbed from that had to be pulled from somewhere, guys. They didn't make. They didn't
what?
pull that from thin air. None of that. All of that audio came from somewhere. They didn't make it in house. They pulled it from somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
Gentlemen, I bring you more corn.
Isn't that from Zero and Divide by Zero?
Yes, it is.
Little do you realize that they've been stalling
no.
for Shem to get on, so I don't have to read this whole time.
No, you still have to read.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Shem, you're
Yes,
late.
you do.
I'm taking your spot.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean,
Not
not
for
for
the
the
full
full
hour, though, but-
Not for the full hour. No.
Yeah,
No,
no,
no.
probably till like 30. And
Hurry
they're
up
just
and
killing
read,
time.
I got
Read
home
book.
way late.
Hurry up and
All right,
read.
I'm
reader
gonna
boy.
read now.
Shut up and read the book, book reader.
I will. What page are we on, Shem?
I don't fucking know. I just got here.
Yeah, you should have been aware of it.
Whatever page
Stop
we were
stalling
on.
and read.
Whatever page we were
I,
on
well,
when we
I'm
stopped.
stalling.
Yeah,
Whatever
you're
pa-
stalling.
Whatever page
Well,
we were
I
on
am
when
now
we stopped
apparently. You
last
guys
week.
were stalling her. All right. Leon wasn't the only one thoroughly confused.
Oh,
Hinata
really?
was having similar.
Oh, really?
I am.
Yes,
What's
Shim
that?
is too. We all are.
Yeah,
We're
we're all
all
very
confused.
confused here.
Everyone, yeah, we've already made
Which way
that
is
joke
right?
already. You
Which
missed
way
the
is
boat
left?
on that
Which way is
Shem.
down?
I don't know which
I'm
way's
very
down,
confused.
up, sideways, inside out.
Ah,
I don't know
Upside down
what's
and
going
inside
on
out. It's like a
anymore.
freight train.
small ant.
Hinata
small
was having
string
similar
Minecraft,
troubles
yes.
dealing with this rapidly changing battlefield. But
Oh,
even
her
worse
too,
than
okay.
that, her opponent Granville was starting to seem eerily different. Finding it odd that you can't steal my skill? Hmm? He had guessed right. It made Hinata nervous despite herself. Why the surprise? Did you think I never picked up on your secret? A little observation, and it was easy enough to surmise. Why do you think I had the other 6 fighting in front of me? Ah, I see. Hinata's unique skill, Usurper, gave her a decisive advantage against the most powerful of foes. And yet, it spit. And yet, it asserted Granville
Assessed.
as... I just worked with Microsoft Access earlier. I don't know why.
Assessed.
Assessed.
Yep.
Assessed Granville as inaccurable. Fuck, what the hell is wrong with me tonight? Inaccurable. What the fuck? I'm
As-
blanking on it. I don't. Words.
Inapplicable.
Inaccurable.
My God,
it's
we
like
will
I've
get you
never
a
seen
higher
the.
than
It's
fourth
like my
grade
brain's
reading
never
level.
seen that word before. I don't know why.
Applicable.
Inaccurable. Thank you.
Inapplicable.
Inapplicable.
Yeah. See.
Applicable.
See, now I'm fucking up.
Inaccurable.
Applicable. The C comes
Inac-
after the P's, sir.
Inapplicable.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like, I see the
Inapplicable.
word.
Inapplicable.
There you go.
Not able to be applied.
inapplicable.
Inapplicable.
Inapplicable. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Applicable.
Previously,
applicable.
Granville
Whichever
was
one is
definitely
easier for you.
previously Granville definitely was above her, and whenever
Oh, hi,
they
Shane.
trained, she constantly used
missed you.
Usurper until it
I
succeeded,
miss you too.
seizing, or more accurately at the time, copying his skills. You have some way of taking skills and arts from opponents, do you not? But I imagine that only
Oh.
works once.
Wait, what?
Hmm?
Wait,
What?
voices are turned
happened?
off, so probably not this stream. Oh, I was like, wait a minute. I turned the audio on. What?
No,
Oh,
no,
could
I'm
people not
talking
hear
about,
us?
Like, for people requesting voices.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah. We ended that.
That had been off for a
Yeah.
while, I think.
Yeah,
It
we've
has been
stopped.
for like the
We-
past 10 streams.
We've
At least- yeah, like a good handful of them,
We've
at
turned
least.
all that off.
Yeah, no one can
As much
request
fun
Palpy
as
from
it
the
is
Valley
to do
anymore.
that, it takes up too much time, and we're trying to get through this.
Yeah.
Because we're
Yeah.
at the really good parts of the book. It's a lot of
Mhm.
Yeah,
stuff
it's a
happening.
lot.
Yeah, there's some
Sorry.
serious
also kinda
stuff,
takes
and
you
we
out
don't
of
want
it,
to
so-
kind of make it all goofy.
The word is literate. God damn it.
Illiterate, yeah.
No, they said literate, not illiterate.
No,
No, they did say
that is an
illiterate.
I. It's illiterate. My
Oh,
man,
I'm not
are
looking
It's
you
at
on the
the
okay?
screen.
small.
I just
No,
heard
it's
that.
on the small screen. I can't tell. I'm very far
Oh,
away,
man.
and it's on the small screen. You got to realize there's a big ass TV, so I have to stay away
Mhm.
from it, and then there's a small ass screen next to it. So
Yeah, that's why I pull it up on the phone. I usually, if I'm not reading it, it's on the big screen.
I'm looking at
Well, I can still
chat.
read it, but not
I'm
aloud.
looking at chat on the small screen.
Oh, yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
looking at chat at all right now, so you have to forgive me.
Yeah. Before I spent points. Oh no, you wouldn't have been able to spend points, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Not on
None of-
that, at least.
None of that's redeemable at the moment, I don't think. And if
Okay,
you had if you had spent points, don't worry, I'd have sent them back to you.
Let's see, where was
I don't know.
I lost track of where I was on this. Only works once on the same foe. And you've already taken from me, haven't you? It won't work twice. That couldn't be. Hinata found herself reacting to Granville's statement, and then she realized her mistake. So I was right, Hinata? Oh, sorry, hang on. So I was right, Hinata. You are a calculating woman. One of the greatest talents among all my apprentices. You are careful and cunning. Out of all the paladins in the past, nobody has ever reached your level. You should take pride in that. But you are still young. You're far too unfamiliar with the opponents of your own level. Enough! The clearly provoked Hinata shouted back. But she understood Granville was egging her on. Thanks to her reflective reaction, she had inadvertently admitted that her skill was stealing other people's powers. Granville had his hunches about it before, no doubt, but couldn't be sure about it. Now, with his social engineering skills, he knew it for sure. He knew it for a fact. Who's the cunning one here? Wait, hold on, is that Hinata or is that Granville speaking?
I don't
that,
know.
Or thinking that? Who's the cunning one here? Despite being wholly devoted to battle at the moment, Granville kept talking to Hinata. Oh, so that was Granville. Okay. The carefree ease he exuded made him resent. Made her resent. Okay, I'm sorry. The carefree ease he exuded made her resent him even more. Even if I only took you once, that's all I need. I wouldn't look down on me that much. She made no secret of her hostility. After all, she had one more trick up her sleeve. Forced takeover. Now she was doing more than just copying. More than copying someone else's skills. She was forcibly wresting it away from them. For good. It would let her strip away one of Granville's cards, and it all but guaranteed her victory. To Hinata, the preliminaries were over. She began a relentless attack, each sword strike a potentially lethal blow. At the same time, she continually activated Usurper, attempting to sap Granville's power. But, no. My skill has to work against him. But, the result...
Inapplicable.
Inapplicable. I don't know what I gotta sound that. Inapplicable. Prove that Granville's actual power was beyond Hinata's. Right now, she had grown far more powerful than before.
Below Hinata's, not beyond. He's not stronger than her, he's weaker than her.
Granville's actual power was below. Oh, sorry. I don't know what happened. Yeah. Right now, she had grown far more powerful than before. It wouldn't be strange for her to surpass Granville, so these results were understandable. The only problem was that even when she seized the skill with forced takeover, her final lifeline, Granville would just use that skill again in the next instant. It happened over and over, no matter how many times she tried it. It was now impossible to hide her panic. She was definitely capable of taking Granville's skills and arts, but to Hinata, they were useless. She had already taken them once, and thus she gained nothing from them. If she could at least take away some of Granville's skills, there'd be a point to it. But why? Did Granville anticipate this and set up some kind of backup system? It wasn't out of the question. No regular person could do it, but she could picture an ex-hero like Granville pulling something like that off. What's wrong, Hinata? You look unwell. Granville, a sneering grin on her. Oh, what? That's weird.
Yeah, they messed up the pronoun.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that supposed to be his face?
Yeah, his face.
Interesting.
Power levels are bullshit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Master Roshi. This is kind of reminding me of him, and I kind of made that joke last time by doing the voice of him for this, but it's like, oh, it's not that far
All right,
off.
anyway.
Yeah, he's just not perv. Granville, a sneering grin on his face, seemed to read Hinata's mind. It irritated her to no end. It seems you don't understand what I'm doing. The most important thing in battle is to carefully observe your opponent. Did you expect me not to take any sort of measures against you? If so, you're sorely If so, you sorely underestimated me, Hinata. Of you, I can see from your fighting style that you retain an advantage against foes stronger than you. Meanwhile, there are a few exceptions of you who season
Examples.
skill from weaker.
There are a
Examples.
few examples.
Example? Or a few example?
Mhm.
Yeah, I said that.
No, you said exceptions.
Yeah.
Weird. I think at some point it changes. My brain changes the word. I don't know. Maybe I'm dyslexic. I don't know.
Could be.
Meanwhile, there are a few examples of you seizing skills from weaker opponents. I say few and not zero. However, so you must. Or, I'm sorry. I changed. Let me try that again. I say few and not zero, however. So you must have some kind of method for that. But that effort must exhaust you, does it not? Ellipses. You don't have to answer me. Looking at you, I am now convinced of my
Suppositions.
supposition.
Mhm.
I don't know why it spit builds up sometimes in my throat. My fuck, god damn it. Suppositions are correct. Being so completely seen through was a shock to Hinata. Somewhere in her mind, she was looking down upon Granville as a relic from the past, and now she wanted to punch herself over it. No, I doubt there's any point in continuing this. There was no reason to keep up her attempts at forced takeover. With that decision made, Hinata retreated a distance away from Granville. Gathering her breath, she looked for a suitable opponent opportunity. Her heart rate was setting a new record. The sweat from her brow pouring down. Then, with a thump, she could sense a small throbbing inside her, deep within her chest. What was that?
It's called heartburn.
Mhm.
Oh man, that's you
Upset
know,
stomach, indigestion.
it happens at some point. You guys, when you get old enough, it just starts becoming a thing, and you know,
Upset stomach diarrhea.
Hey, Pepto Bismol.
something she ate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody knew where I was going with that. Yeah.
hmm
Yeah, take a hydrate. What was that? I've tired myself out more than I thought. But not because I miscalculated this. Maybe I'm being attacked. Impartially observing herself, she realized that her exhaustion was stacking up more quickly than usual. Even all the forced takeover attempts wouldn't have gassed her this much. But as Granville pointed out, her fatigue could no longer be ignored. You seem confused. You are powerful, Hinata. Very powerful. That must be why you have so little experience with underhanded combat techniques such as this. What was that? It's simple. My actions are designed to make you overwork yourself, little by little. I made you wear yourself down, believing that your attacks would succeed if you pushed a little more. A little more. Listen to me. If you confront someone on the same level as you, whichever side tires out first wins. The more fatigued you are, the slower your decisions, and wider you leave yourself open. The wider you leave yourself open. Just as you are personally experiencing right now. She wanted to deny Granville's claim, but she couldn't. Hinata had used her unique skill measurer to calmly analyze the battle situation, or so she thought. But Granville went one step beyond. She thought she was overly on her guard. Yes, she underestimated him a little bit, but she didn't let her guard down at all. So does it mean this man's stronger than me? That must be the case. It's the difference in levels here, brought on by experience. She was now convinced and ready to admit to it. Even with Usurper, she couldn't take Granville's expertise. Now I understand. I'll have to get serious if I want to defeat you. That's right. Give me all you've got. Otherwise, trying to outclass me will be a dream beyond a dream for you. Hinata banished the ambient noise from her mind, focusing squarely on Granville. The sound disappeared. They were the only people present in the world. Here I come, Granville! I hope you learn from this, Hinata. I hope you learn from this, Hinata! Thus, Hinata and Granville's battle grew even more heated as time went on.
And that's where we'll stop. Okay, to be fair though, everybody's making bad choices. The moment that Rebrew realized that Leon was on his side, he shouldn't have fucked around with Leon.
Mm-hmm.
He should have immediately gone to Hinata's aid and helped with Granville. Yeah, he should have. He shouldn't have fucked around.
He got too up in his own head and emotions.
No, I don't think it's necessarily emotions. He's not fighting Leon on an emotional level. He's not actually fighting Leon. They're having a communication right now. They're literally.
Oh, that's right.
They're literally communicating with each other. They're like, we're being tactical. We're actually talking while fooling the enemy. Blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
we're fake fighting.
You absolute dumbass. You two should have been doing some... You two should have had, like, a quick exchange of words that lasted 3 seconds and then moved on. And you didn't.
Yeah, can't they, like, mentally slow down time and do, like, just open, like, a thought communication between them?
Mm-hmm. And while
it's
doing
like
that,
3 seconds is like 3 minutes, you know.
And while doing that, they could have been moving. They could have been schmoving.
Or pretend fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. Anyway, Shim, it's your turn.
Okay.
This time you get 30 minutes as opposed to the hour.
The multi-layered disintegration unleashed by Diablo smashed into Rain's defense barrier, destroying pieces of it in succession. And then, the final ray pierced through her chest. Everything had gone the way he had calculated, including the fact that Rain was still breathing. How weak. You were even less competition for me than Testarossa before her evolution. Testarossa? Never mind. It has nothing to do with you. But explain to me why you came here. Who would ever... Diablo was barking orders from high above, but Rain saw no reason to oblige him. Her predictable refusal irked him a little. He had clearly beaten Rain, but that didn't mean it was smooth sailing from now on. The perfectly formed insectoid he was having Shion and Ranga deal with really was the nemesis of all the demons. He was an unusual creature, one who lived in the space between the material and spiritual world, As a half-spiritual life form, whenever he slipped into a physical realm, or into the physical realm, he'd naturally assume a palpable form, become a burdensome invader. A group of them was extremely dangerous, requiring quick detection and extermination. Even worse, an insectoid attaining humanoid form was quite rare. Most examples settled into some more primitive form, finding themselves not quite suited for life in the material realm. But Razul, this insectoid here, was in his final and complete state, and Diablo could see why even Shion and Ranga would find him a handful. Of course, Lady Shion works under Sir Rimuru. She has the potential to do well near anything to overcome her foe's strength. And with Sir Ranga around, there's no need to assume they'd lose. Still, though, Diablo could win. It would suit Rimuru more, he knew, if he eliminated all the question marks from the battle. Right now, going back and taking care of Razul would be the right thing to do. But then another thought crossed his mind. What, he reasoned, if Rimuru deliberately left Razul to Shion and Ranga? Diablo was flustered earlier, true. She detected Rain's arrival and didn't want her or her cohorts joining the fray, and the distraction had kept him from focusing on the battle. I thought it best at the time to drive her away as soon as possible, but was it really? Perhaps Sir Rimuru wanted Lady Shion and Sir Ranga to experience battle against someone stronger than them? In that case, it wouldn't be right to intrude. That seemed plausible to Diablo. Truly, these were the thoughts of someone crazed for battle, a nonsensical conclusion that no regular person could ever imagine. But to Diablo, who placed Rimuru above all else, doing anything that went against Rimuru's intentions was a gross error. He wasn't some simple creature who assumed that fighting and winning was all that mattered. He could see that if Rimuru wanted to give them such a powerful foe, he truly wanted them to win, and learn from it. A difficult decision. This will require careful consideration on my part. Now Diablo's thoughts were starting to spiral in a pretty wrong direction. In front of Rain, the highest level of fighting force in the world, Diablo was thoroughly confused. Rimuru, of course, was thinking of nothing so idiotic. What he cared about was, well, good. Amazing.
For once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
for
even.
once. Yeah. What he cared about was putting an end to this fracas. Well, fracas. Okay, fracas. Okay.
Yeah, they're fracking?
Was putting an end to this fracas, yes, while keeping the children and orchestra safe. He had no obligation at all to see this as some kind of training situation for Shion and Ranga. So Diablo was wrong, but with that wrong idea in mind, he now had a new path to take. I was going to kill you, but I decided against it. What are you talking about? Threats won't work on me. No need for that, thank you. I don't need your act any longer, so come on out, he told the demon with a large hole in her chest. Rain didn't seem to understand this. In short time, however, her expression turned to panic. It wasn't the pale face from before as she faced defeat, but something rather more complex, a mixture of frustration and hatred. Nor, you only just evolved into a demon peer after all this time, and look at you. Just as set in your ways as always, I see. The true essence of strength does not lie in magical counts. What's important is your level. I was taught to believe that differences in magical energy do not make a decisive difference in battle ability.
So just literally power
Ridiculous.
levels are bullshit.
Yeah, basically. Ridiculous, replied Rain, her voice raspy as her body began to fade away. By the time she was fully gone, nothing but dust in the wind, a ray of light shot out from beyond the heavens, only to disappear and reveal two people, blue and red. Rain was a blue one, and she was kneeling before Guy Crimson, the strongest of demons, who had just entered the scene. Hey, Nor. It's been a while. Rouge. Or Guy Crimson now, I believe. So you were here too, then. Diablo was wary of Guy from the start, even as Guy seemed to view him with nostalgia. So you noticed Rain's ubiquitous miss from the start. So why did you execute such a large-scale skill on her? Diablo
We're going
scowled.
to sea!
Yeah.
Diablo's going out to sea.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. Diablo scowled, dreading this question. He had intended to feign ignorance of this skill, allowing her to divide up and regenerate her body with a second copy. His original plan was to make Guy and Rain, in her original body, believe that here was a man who wouldn't give them great trouble. The Diablo destroyed Rain's ubiquitous mist body, got all cocky, and left the scene. Guy would no doubt lose hope in him, as well as lose interest in this whole battle. He'd leave on the spot, and thus Diablo could buy more time while hiding his full powers from him. Then he could go support Shion and the rest. That plan was now mothballed, thanks to Diablo's own desires.
Mandalorian Dragoon, thank you for the follow.
Yeah.
Hey!
Thank you.
Cool.
Even he could admit to it. Now was no time to stage an act. Disintegration wouldn't be enough to defeat primal demons like us, would it? Hold on a sec. Yeah. Wouldn't be enough to defeat primal demons like us, would it? This parlor trick doesn't even qualify as a secret trump card. Wow, is that what you have to say?
I'm pretty sure that was Diablo saying that.
I was.
That was
Oh
the
yeah,
obvious
that's right.
Diablo
Sorry,
voice, right?
because I mistook. Kehehehe is Diablo. Hehehe ha 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 is good. Okay. Anyway, wow, is that what you have to say? If I took a direct hit of that, not even I would survive unscathed. Indeed, the same is true for me. If it were a direct hit.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Diablo's answer made Guy burst into self-satisfied laughter. Diablo did the same, still hoping to look unfazed. At this point, Rain was all but invisible to them. So, why didn't you evolve until this point in time? You had no interest in dragging others down, unlike the other three. You could say they're dragging one another down, yes, but really, it's just a game they enjoy. You're right, though, that I have no part in it. As for myself, Guy, let me ask you, is there anyone in this world stronger than us? The question was similar to what Testarossa asked. It was a view shared across all the primal demons, Guy included. Bringing up common ground like this made it easier to stoke kinship with each other. No, there sure isn't. Maybe the true dragon if I had to bring up a name, but that's more of a phenomenon of nature, you know? Even the true dragon wasn't a threat before Guy. If Veldanava, the Star King dragon, was ever revived, that'd be another story. But as of right now, Guy was telling the truth. Well, about that. Diablo nodded. Precisely. So if I evolved while knowing that, any battle afterward would seem so boring. So one-sided, wouldn't you agree? He grinned at Guy. His battle-obsessed brain was working hard as usual. I see. Guy, for his part, seemed convinced. Maybe he would deny it, but the two of them were actually fairly alike. Two kindred spirits when it came to this topic. So, did that slime give you a change of heart? Sir Rimuru. I'll ask you not to not refer to him as slime, please.
That's
All
a racism.
Sure, yeah.
That's racist.
That's his word.
He's a
All right.
slime. Yeah, and what are you?
Or Raphael
Yeah,
forbids
right?
Rimuru friggin' names the Star Dragon. No.
Oh, God. His name is Teddy the Star Dragon.
Teddy the Star Dragon. No.
Nice.
Bruh.
Something, like, really lame.
The truth is actually much, much worse.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yes,
it's like,
our
but he's
weapon of
such a
choice is-
sweetheart.
Our weapon of choice is
He's a big teddy
Neckos.
bear.
Oh no.
You know, Shem,
He's
I
a
go one
demon
step
slime.
further.
Get
I
it
call
right,
him Teddy
Doc.
Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. That's kind of
Roosevelt.
cute.
It's like, you remind me
that.
of this president guy. I'll name you Teddy Roosevelt.
No, stop.
Jesus.
Stop. Actually,
He's also a teddy bear.
guys,
Huh.
the teddy bear was actually named after the president, Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh yeah, I know
Yeah.
that.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Today
'cause
I
he
learned.
did-
Okay.
He was
It's a
like, they were
dragon
making
on
an execution for a bear, and he wouldn't do it.
Gotcha. All right. So is this Rimuru guy the reason you evolved? Diablo is adjusting the pace of this conversation to suit his taste, irked Guy, but complaining wouldn't help advance things. He hated playing by the beat of a different drummer, but this time he chose to make an exception. Very good, muttered Diablo. The growth of Sir Rimuru, you see, is a constant surprise to me. I wouldn't be afraid to call it evolution in action. His looks are charming, his soul brimming with refinement. And what's more, is this going to go on for a while?
Yay.
Gay.
Yeah.
Diablo just pulls out a list. Let me introduce you to. It's just a slideshow, like top 10 reasons why I think Rimuru's the best ever.
God damn it.
Surprise PowerPoint. Like,
Yeah, he just has a slide. Like,
It's just like,
where did all this equipment
all
come
right,
from?
Why do you like this slime so much? All right, sit your ass down. Look at my
Music
PowerPoint.
in the
it was a
background. It's
Steve
like,
Bear
what?
before the president.
You been planning this?
All right.
It's like, yes.
Yep. Diablo met Guy's stare, as if to say, what did you expect? I don't need to hear about Rimuru. Let's talk about you. All right. This annoyed Diablo a bit, but perhaps remembering the urgency of the situation around them, he acquiesced. Well, all right. Let us return to the topic at hand. Sir Rimuru's compatriots, as well, are changing rapidly from day to day, and I think seeing that has influenced me. That
Diablo,
much.
thank you for coming to my TED Talk on why Rimuru is great.
He would go on for like 3 hours about him.
do you
would.
know?
You can
here's the
imagine
thing.
Shion
Here's the
just-
thing. Here's the thing. Can you imagine the amount of people in Tempest that would
Ugh.
show up for that TED Talk?
All of
Yes,
them.
yes,
Every
they would be
single one of
cheering.
them.
Yeah,
And they just
dude.
Yeah.
You know the two babies in
The biggest-
Oshinoko that were sitting there just.
Yeah, that's what it would turn
all of
into.
Tempest. That's all of Tempest. Just,
Rimuru
Oh,
would
yeah.
be sitting there like, oh, God.
like so many
Good.
of them.
Yep.
The biggest fucking
And it's like
cheerleader
open
would be
invitation
Shion
to
herself.
everyone in the
Yeah.
kingdom.
Yep.
Shion herself would be the
biggest.
biggest cheerleader. All right, sorry.
Biggest fan.
Okay.
Yep. Anyway.
Rimuru
This
himself
chat.
is
Pulls
not
out-
allowed.
Pulls a new pocket projector
Yes.
and starts going over
Yes.
100K reasons.
Rimuru just crashes the party. Get back to work.
What are you all doing?
Stop
Yes,
slacking,
Spending
slackers.
Guys
resources.
just sitting there like, you just take that?
you just take.
I have a nation to run. Get back to work. In
We
wait.
go that far.
And then they're just like,
Yep.
sir, this is work. No, it isn't. So Diablo, so
It's pleasure.
magnanimous. Like, God damn
Look
Yes.
at him in his glory.
So magnificent.
it. Like, God
Yep.
damn it.
His magnificent shine.
Yep.
God damn it. God
But sir,
damn
we're
it.
supposed to spread the wonderful word of Rimuru. I'm not a god!
Yes, you
Yeah.
But
are.
you
Yeah.
are. Yes, you are.
That probably yeah. Yeah.
At what
Comparatively.
point? What is one of them just gonna be like? Yes, you are.
Yes,
And just
you
like,
are.
fucking are.
No,
Good,
yes,
I
you
get it.
are.
this is why Ghostbusters would never work in this case. They're like, "Are you a god?" And everybody in Tempest goes, "Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
And Rimuru's sitting there
Yeah.
like,
Rimuru's like, no,
You're not
I'm
supposed to
not.
Yep, he does the eye thing like yep.
They do not
mean-
speak for me.
They do
Yeah,
not
he's
speak-
the best. He's gonna kick your ass again. They don't speak for me.
although, like, could
Yeah.
you imagine what destructor form would he choose?
Rimuru.
Yep.
He'd be a-
He doesn't have to change in the slightest.
No,
Doesn't
yeah,
have
no,
to
yeah,
change.
Rimuru wouldn't choose it. All of Tempest would. And he'd be sitting there like, what?
picked
I
the-
didn't think anything. And then everyone's all like, oh no.
Oh no!
He just turns into a giant gobta. I picked the one thing that I thought wouldn't hurt us.
I tried to think of something harmless.
hmm
Something that would never
Gobta's
hurt
like,
us.
hey.
It's like, hey, and then suddenly
Yeah.
Hakuro just beats the shit out of a giant Gupta.
Yeah.
Yes, I
No, he would
And
just have
then
to
Gobta's
flash the
sitting
sword
there
and it
like,
would be
you
like,
don't have to look like you enjoy it so much.
Why did you
Yeah.
pick me, Master? It's like,
It should have been me, not him. Me.
yep.
No. All of them would join in. Diablo would help with that. Fucking Benny Maru would help with that.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Sorry, maybe.
All right,
Then
continue.
you have the point.
So-
Like,
Okay.
so who's the
Continue.
real
Stop,
Gupta
stop,
here?
Okay.
stop. We gotta continue.
All right.
Onward.
This chat,
We had fun.
this
We had our
chat
fun.
seemed to be tiring Guy out.
Hakuro,
Me
yes,
too.
a bigger target. God
Yeah,
damn
it's
it.
Yeah.
Chat is killing
Yeah,
everyone
just-
today.
Yep.
All right. Anyway.
But he
Oh,
still
good.
had,
A
yeah.
bigger target.
But he still had the wherewithal to scrutinize what Diablo just said. Indeed, I fear that if I do not make an effort of my own, even I might be left in the dust. And in that sort of environment, there is no longer any reason to set limits to my growth. The fascinated guy nodded. Now things were going at his pace again. He unleashed an evil grin. It does sound like Rimuru's got the nations to the west under his control now. Yeah. But I'm sorry to say, my own people are wrecking the place right now, I think. To Guy, this was just some playful harassment of the human race. That was his intention, at least, but to Rimuru, so driven to play nice with humanity, it must have been a serious crisis. That's what made Guy mention it. He could see that none of this surly behavior would work on Diablo, but if he could get under Rimuru's skin, he knew that have its effect on Diablo as well. Thus, if his minions happened to be messing around in the Western nations at the moment, he thought he could take advantage. The side of Diablo, someone who fought evenly with Guy in the past, calling someone his master put Guy off a bit, so he wanted to mess with him, stir him up. With Razzle gone from his usual post up north, the Western nations were vulnerable. Much of it, like Guy warned, was no doubt looking like hell on Earth by now. Diablo wouldn't be able to do anything about it, and as Guy saw it, not even Rimuru could take action. but Diablo just gave him his trademark snicker instead. You thought Surimu didn't see it coming. It has all been taken care of. His wisdom, you see, is deeper than the ocean, his perception giving him insight into all things. Guy thought that would agitate Diablo just at least a little. It didn't. In fact, he chose this moment in time to revert back to praising Rimuru. He must be sick in the head, he thought, facing no choice but to accept it. Ah, yes, very interesting. You think he's surpassing even my expectations? Yes, of course. For Sir Rimuru, that is a given. Diablo continued to verbally taunt Guy about Rimuru for a while, despite Rimuru not actually being there. If he was, he would no doubt shout, what the hell are you doing? Only Rain was listening, biting her lip, but Guy and Diablo were wholly ignoring her as they continued. Some ellipses.
Hold on.
I mean-
This is the beautiful part. Keep going.
Meanwhile, the Western nations were facing a danger unprecedented in their history. The Cider, whatever.
Close enough.
The Cedar-
Cedar.
Cedar Frontier Defense Force was always busily handling the demon threat, suddenly found its main offense gone. No longer able to push back the demons who visited their territory regularly, they sent out an emergency request for reinforcements. Ridiculous! The demon forces are advancing southward? What could Margrave Cedar possibly be doing? We can't think about that right now. Every nation needs to deploy its troops and build a layered set of defense spaces. Otherwise, we'll have a marauding army of demons right here in the capital of Inglacia. All the representatives at this emergency council sessions were in an uproar. Being composed of counselors from all its member nations, the Council of the West held a great deal of political power. When it came to sudden crises, there was always something or going to be time wasted. That was the biggest disadvantage of a majority vote system. The defense of the northern regions was left entirely in the hands of Margrave Cedar of Inglacia. It was a large, powerful kingdom, and still a good half of its military strength was stationed up north, forming a bulwark against Guy Crimson. They were joined by several members of the Crusaders, as well as a team of A-ranked adventurers from the Free Guild, which functioned as a subsidiary of the Council. That was how important a defensive line this was. Losing it could be a matter of life and death for humanity, and thus the panic around the Council chamber was understandable. Currently, they were just barely hanging on to the base defined as their last line of defense, and even that was thanks to the paladins and adventurers stationed there. Considering the situation, they needed to deploy troops there immediately, but time would not allow it. This wasn't a monolithic dictatorship. It was a federation of independent nations, and each representative needed permission from their home state. The only thing the Council could do right away was call for emergency backup from the Free Guild. They could also ask the Council's host nation, Inglacia, to deploy its regular forces, but the request was likely to fall on deaf ears, since it'd leave the capital more exposed. Besides, Inglacia was already shouldering the burden of defending the north. Nobody would fault it for asking other nations for support in an emergency. Like the lesser-known council members were currently shouting, it was time to create a federated, multi-nation force. The problem, however, was that all these disparate armies would be led by the new member nation of Tempest, the land of monsters. The council had unanimously voted for it, so there was no room to complain about it now, but leaving precious military resources in the hands of monsters presented a thorny dilemma to the many councilors. Order, all of you, please! Shuddered the chairman. The noise gradually died down as all eyes turned towards him. Right now, we can't afford to waste a single minute. Instead of debating among ourselves, we must immediately contact our home nations and have them send forces our way. The Demon Lord Reamer's representative, Lady Testarossa, is in attendance today, and I understand she is well versed in military affairs. If Sir Reamer appointed her, I am sure leaving our forces in her hands will not be an issue. The chairman's words were greeted with some sporadic disagreement, but no one stood up and spoke on the record against it. With no better ideas forthcoming, lodging complaints now would only make things worse. Now all eyes were on Testarossa. If the council was raising an army, she'd be its de facto commander. It was only expected that everyone was appraising her abilities now. She was a young woman, a rarity among the counselors, and a beauty the likes of which one rarely lays eyes upon. Many counselors had the impression that Tempest featured a lot of pretty faces, but no one was foolish enough to say as much here. Everyone's focus was on whether this woman Testarossa truly had any power. It may have been an exaggeration to say, but on this debate rode not only the future of each counselor, but the future of humankind itself. Lady Testarossa, began one counselor, finally drumming up the courage to speak. I fully recognize that asking this might be considered rude, but are you capable of commanding a military force? Testarossa gave him a gleaming smile. Do not despair, counselors. My master, Sir Rimuru, has ordered me to defend all the nations that belong to the Council of the West. In fact, my own personnel have already been deployed across the land. And also, Moss. Yes, according to the latest information, reliable reinforcements have now arrived in the north. But what? Is that true? The counselors didn't even have the time to realize that Moss was likely one of Testarosa's assistants. What he had to say sent the hall into another furor. So, what reinforcements are these, Lady Testarossa? Moss? Yes, my lord. A dragon airship from the sorceress dynasty of Thalion is currently on its way to the area. I'm sure that High Elf's forces are more than capable of dispatching the low-level demons threatening the regions. You heard him, Chairman. And Moss, she is more than just a High Elf. She is a sworn friend of Lord Rimuru. My apologies. Don't make that mistake again, all right? From now on, you will refer to her as Lady Elmesia. Yes, my lord. Moss withered under the gaze of Testarosa's crimson eyes. He turned pale, realizing he could no longer behave like the demon world prince he once was. I mean, good? Angering Testarossa would lead to his ruin. And even worse, disrespecting someone Rimuru recognized as a friend was an error he couldn't forgive himself for. Testarossa, less likely realizing that, let him off with just a warning this time. If Moss didn't correct his insolent ways, she'd no doubt punish him for it the next instant. That applied even to him, a great demon who had served Testarossa for ages. She was a woman possessed of kindness and ruthlessness in equal measure. The council the council she sat in was a scene of chaos. The words she and Moss exchanged provided an overview of the situation, but there was still no evidence to back them up. Opinion was clearly split on whether to trust them. I will speak for my nation when I say that I trust Lady Testarossa. Indeed, our nation's of the same opinion. I want Lady Testarossa to command our forces. It would be the height of irresponsibility. If something should happen, it will be far too late then. Exactly. If this talk of reinforcements turns out to be a ruse, the demons will trample all over human civilization. Unity was now in short supply across the council as the debate continued to heat up. Testarossa calmly watched matters unfold, listening instead of offering her own opinion. After a little time had passed, though, she suddenly spoke. Ah, it was you. I thought you might be here. The sudden statement invited confusion among the counselors, many failing to understand what she was talking about. Only one among them, the person her eyes were presently aimed at, broke out in a cold sweat, the color draining from his face. It was Prince Johann Rostia of the Kingdom of Rostia. What are you saying about me? He asked, trying to best hide his apprehension, but Testarossa simply arched her lips upward and made him lose his patience. I knew monsters weren't to be trusted. Only we can step up to defend humankind. Guards, come out now! He was now dramatically shouting, sweat running down his face in a portrait of despair. Meanwhile, Testarossa's smile only broadened. Following Johann's orders, soldiers began to pour into the council hall. Some of Johann's personal guards were among them, their presence putting him more at ease. Testarossa elegantly played with her hair as the other counselors sat there bewildered. Johann's behavior was beyond illogical. Even if Testarossa did have some malevolent intent, any unlawful violence would never be allowed in a hall of laws like the council. No matter how important a figure Johann was in here, such arbitrary behavior would never be smiled upon. Your name was Johann Rostia, right? Prince de Rostia? A very high figure, aren't you? What of it? Flattery will get you nowhere! Sir Johann, who were you talking to in a magical cell or a magical call just now? What? And why did you send out an order to have this nation's defensive barrier destroyed? How did you? Would you mind explaining? Testarossa was relaxed, as if chatting over tea, as she painted Johann into a corner. The other counselors looked on in awe. Now was no time for confusion. They all immediately ordered their staff to check on the state of Inglesia's barrier, but before they had an answer, the entire land around them began to rumble. It's true! Destroy the barrier! If you do that, there's no defense against the monsters. We'll lose countless citizens. What could possibly be the meaning of this, Sir Johann? Answer me! When confronted with someone in a panic, most people were hardwired to either fall into a similar panic or take a step back and calm down. Johann was the latter. Realizing that his plans were complete, he let a relaxed smile creep upon his face. Sir Gerard, the barrier is gone now. It's time to call them out. The counselors, seeing the figure Johann was addressing, were startled. It's the head of the Sons of the Veld, that mercenary gang. Gerard! That Velt's connected with Sir Johann too? Not just Gabon? But what's Sir Johann going to do with them? Ignoring these cries, Gerard walked up to Johann, standing beside him. Yes, he said. Our contract is now ratified. Thank you for your cooperation. Oh, not at all. The last hope of our mutual master, Granville Rosso, happens to match your mission as well. No need to hold back now. If you're going to raise this land, be as showy as you can about it. Now Johann's laughter rang loud across the hall, the light of reason no longer visible in his eyes. His face was transformed into something fiendish as he revealed his true colors to all. At long last, the counselors realized Johann had betrayed them, but the kingdom's defense barrier was already destroyed. And as they gradually understood this, despair began to reign. Have at it, Ein. You got it. The woman Gerard called Ein began to cast a spell, a summon spell. Ein was an elementalist and the leader of Green Fury, the team that made it far into the dungeon not long ago. But this was no spirit she was summoning this time. Well, it was, in fact, the very deity of the Sons of the Veld worshipped as their spiritual leader. A large oval-shaped transport gate appeared, a living personification of power stepping through it. It was a beautiful girl with green hair and a crimson-red-made outfit. But everyone witnessing it could sense how dangerous she was. After all, despite her attractive looks, the aura she unleashed plunged the entire hall into hopelessness. The magical inquisitors who ran in, sensing the danger, were frozen in place. Their instincts told them that any moment could very well kill them. This was Misery, the demon peer, stepping out from the darkness.
Or Misery. All right.
Misery. Yep.
Moon, it's your turn. Hi, Misery.
Darkness.
This is so funny. This is the thing.
The Misery.
This is the thing that Guy was talking about. He's like, Rimuru's not ready. And Diablo's like, oh, Rimuru ready. Like, Rimuru is so ready. Like,
Yeah, he's fine. He'll be
I
fine.
have a strong urge to give Misery a Kathy Bates voice.
God,
Good.
no,
Do it.
don't.
Do it.
Are you gonna give her the Valley voice?
No.
No, Kathy Bates. It's
No,
a very
don't do
specific
that.
reference.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Despite the overwhelming despair, Johann looked supremely pleased with himself. He recalled the last time Granville called for him, after Gabon's fall reduced the 5 elders to 4, Granville Rosso of the Rosso family, Margrave Cedre of Inglacia, King Doran of the Kingdom of Doran, and himself. They had all come together at Granville's bidding, and he had a fearsome final order for them. Maribel is dead, and with that, the Rossos will likely meet their doom soon. Perhaps, depending on how one looks at it, we could reconcile with the monsters after all. If they show no interest in human territories like Lady Luminous, it may even be possible to coexist. But the Demon Lord Rimuru is seeking nothing less than complete rule over humankind. He must be stopped at all costs. But Sir Granville, any attempts along those lines are doomed if we have no realistic way of resisting him. I understand what Maribel was concerned about, but if we've lost our Chaos Dragon, there's nothing we can do. We have Razzle under our control, but we can hardly move him around. Doran was being realistic, with Cedre offering his support, and Johann in agreement. Johann knew well the threat Maribel posed, as young as she was, and the Demon Lord Rimuru's victory over her filled him with fear. For now, he thought, our best plan is to pretend to do Rimuru's bidding as we build up our power. But Granville, perhaps sensing this internal weakness with Johann, fired back. Have you fools all lost your nerve? No matter how much chaos is in the world, no matter how much we sacrifice, we humans must retain the right to rule over ourselves. Am I wrong? His sheer vigor took Johann and the others aback. Granville rarely wore his emotions on his sleeve, which made his deep-seated anger and rage all the more clear to them. I am tired. If this keeps up, the human world will perish, and the Demon Lord Rimuru will rule over us all. If that is the fate we're doomed to face, then why not stage one more final resistance? You may do whatever you choose, but I'm going to take one last risk. Once he was done, he gave his 3 companions some time to consider their choices. Either they could follow Granville's orders and resist their fates, or they could align themselves with Rimuru. Only Doran among them decided to separate from the group. Choosing to resist as he normally did on his own turf, to keep the Rosso family alive. My territory is located far from the scene of conflict, As a survivor from the Rosso family, I will observe and care for your true and correct history. Granville nodded at Doran. Very well. This will likely be the final time, so I say this to you as my final request. It may be too late, but I wish there to be no ill will. Doran listened to Granville's resigned words, tears in his eyes, and then departed alone. Johann, too, realized this would likely be their final meeting, but he had no regrets. Considering the suffering Granville must have gone through as the Rosso family patriarch, joining him on the path to almost certain death seemed a perfectly reasonable proposition. Cedre, who also stayed, was of the same opinion. So the three of them worked out their final operation. Granville would use the guild Grand Master, Yuki, to stage one last challenge against Luminous. Cedre would abandon his northern defenses and allow the demons up there to march for the western nations. Johann would destroy Inglesia's defensive mechanisms and kill the core members of the council. Tempest's representatives would likely be among them, and with her murder, they'd even be able to stage a confrontation between the demon lords Guy and Rimuru. Once they pulled all of that off, human society would be in shambles. Doran, left behind, could opt to rebuild by himself, or maybe another nation would lead the way. Perhaps humankind would find some charismatic savior to guide them. Granville had some other motivations in mind as well, it seemed. But that didn't matter to Johann. But you're truly sure about this? I am asking you both in essence... Oh, wait, no. But you are truly sure about this? I am asking you both in essence to die for me. What are you saying? As a member of the Rosso family, my heart is always with you, my master. As is mine. I cannot join your frail body on its final journey, but at least allow me to fulfill my duty to you. Johann and Cedre didn't hesitate to answer Granville. It was quite the opposite of what Johann thought a moment ago, but he had a good reason for that. Everyone in the Rossos took the absolute rule of Granville as a given. They depended on him. It was all but impossible to imagine prosperity without his patronage. So if Granville was now venturing forth to his final battlefield, even the previously indecisive Johann was ready for it. I'm sure it's just as difficult for King Doran to bear. He must feel helpless like a child abandoned by his parents. By comparison, Johann counted himself as a happy man. Until the final moment, he'd be able to take pride as a member of the Rosso family. So, as ordered by Granville, Johann made contact with the Sons of the Veld, a demon-affiliated group he and Gabon were familiar with, and won their promise to join in their effort. Their mission, to summon Vert herself and plunge the world into chaos. And for the Sons of the Veld, like any paramilitary group dreaming of a world at war they could profit from, it was the greatest and most self-centered thing they could ever wish for.
This is cute.
Yes.
And now, here in the council, Johann's job was done. The Sons of the Veld's dreams were coming true before his eyes. Their god, the demon peer Misery, had heeded the summoning, and with Misery, a threat more fearsome than any demon lord, laying waste to Inglacia would be a simple task. They don't know. Okay.
They really don't know.
She's adorable!
Anyway.
Okay. The rumors called this nation's magical inquisitors the most powerful presence in the kingdom, and this demon's frozen them stiff. It's all over for Inglacia. My homeland of Rostia will be caught up in it, no doubt. But I can apologize to my countrymen in the afterlife. No, you can't.
Anyway.
Satisfied with himself, Johann looked around the council hall. Then he witnessed something he couldn't believe. One figure there was breezily smiling before Misery, the personification of all fear. The boy next to her was similarly unfazed, a little bored even. What are they doing?
Like,
Then he remembered who they were. Testarossa, counselor from Tempest, and her assistant, Moss!
Moss!
mhm.
Yes, you've certainly come up with an interesting scheme, Sir Johann. Were you trying to destroy this country and plunge the world into chaos? And what if I was? Johann didn't like anything about Testarossa's reaction. She acted totally unaffected in front of Misery, this calamity raking above all demon lords, and it bothered him. But he quickly reconsidered matters. Testarossa is on the stronger side of the monsterdom. No doubt, but her confidence would be her downfall. There's such a thing as being too strong for your own good. I suppose it makes you fail to see the abilities of your adversaries. It dooms you. And this strong woman would soon be wailing over the reality she faced. Simply imagining Testarossa pleading for her life gave Johann a sadistic rush. How comical can you get? Oh, wait, no, who is?
I don't know. Hang on.
Okay,
That's
no, I
that's
know who it
her.
is.
No, that's Testarossa.
No, that's
yeah.
Testarossa. Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
How comical can you get? All of this, despite the fact that my presence here makes your scheme an immediate failure. Such nonsense, Johann said with a self-assured smile. The more Testarossa shone with confidence, the greater her shone with confidence, the greater her despair would be in a moment. Glorious expectations filled his mind. Lady Testarossa! Shouted the chairman, interrupting them. Now is not the time for such casual talk. You must flee at once and send a report to Lord Rimuru. Chairman, what did you want me to tell him? Accurate information about the demons was scarce within the Western nations, compared with the experts in the Eastern Empire. This made the West seem imminently ill-prepared for them. The chairman was no exception, and not even having Misery on hand would tell him much about her or her race. However, the simple fact that she served the Demon Lord Guy Crimson, the greatest evil anyone here knew, made her a threat. Ignorance is bliss, as they say, and here it was definitely working in their favor. If the chairman and other counselors knew more about demons, having Misery here would cause them to abandon all hope. The chairman didn't realize how lucky he was to avoid that, as he kept shouting at Testarossa. Tell him that one of the Demon Lord Guy's chief agents has invaded our capital. He'll surely not abandon us then. Even the chairman knew this was wishful thinking at best. No matter how much the Demon Lord Rimuru sought to live hand in hand with humans, it was impossible to imagine him going out of his way to make an enemy of Guy. Anyone who spent a moment to work out what he stood to gain or lose could see that. But, the chairman thought, there was always a chance. He couldn't fully give up yet. He had seen the Demon Lord Rimuru for himself, and he trusted in his words. A Demon Lord so emotional in nature, so human in many ways, might just throw all his potential stakes out the window and come riding to the rescue. He knew it was a stupid hope to have, but he couldn't help but kindle the thought. That was the only reason why the chairman could keep his sense of reason in front of this terror. And now Testarossa was smiling at him. You realize that I am here, yes? The chairman wasn't sure what she meant. He would find out quickly.
Yeah.
But he wasn't the only one confused by this. Johann was as well, and Testarossa's cavalier attitude was sorely testing his patience. You think I will let you? Sure, Gerard, it is time to give everyone here a dose of reality. Gerard, despite Johann's order, was among the many here unsure what to make of this. Why is Lady Misery not making a move? Ein, Gerard's right-hand girl, had lost consciousness upon summoning Misery. The effort no doubt took years off her lifespan, but she deserved enormous praise for being alive at all. However, without a supernatural power along the lines of Misery's, she might never wake up again. Gerard, even as he took pride in Ein's masterwork, was already seeking an opportunity to retreat. With all her powers beyond imagination, it'd be easy for her to kill everyone present. In fact, she could burn the entire capital of Inglacia down with her purgatorial flames. Before that happened, he planned to scoop Ein up and get the hell out of there. The people of this city would serve as the sons of the Velt's offering to Misery, and then Gerard and his friends would be added to the ranks of those his deity recognized as peers. That was the plan, at least, but things were going completely off the rails. From the moment she appeared here, Misery hadn't done a single thing except stare at Testarossa. Now, at long last, she spoke. Unbelievable, Blanc. Why have you received a physical body? A pity you saw fit to call me that. I've been granted the wondrous name of Testarossa now. You don't like being called Vert either, do you, Misery? A name? You? It can't be. Oh, but it is. And I hate to spoil your grand welcome, but I'm afraid I wouldn't lose to you right now. If you still want to fight, though, I'd certainly be interested. In fact, I'd be happy to put you to sleep for 1,000 years or so.
God
She
damn.
snickered. An elegant laugh meant
Damn.
entirely to taunt Misery.
Oh,
She had a body now and a name
no.
as well. And even better, she was a demon peer just like Misery. They were the same.
Mm.
That's one of those lines. You just have that one. Oh.
Yeah, one of the council members like, oh shit, she did that!
Yeah, that.
Oh,
Yep.
Oh yeah, the meme.
Oh god.
it's so
At
good.
first
It's
glance.
so good.
Yep.
They don't.
And then
The
Misery
rest
just
of the
nope,
council
she just
doesn't
vanishes.
even fucking know. Like,
Mm.
oh look, she
At-
used up her lifespan
Like, we
for
spent
something
so
that
much
does
resource and
nothing.
manpower trying to get her here. She's just nope.
I
Not touching
love
that.
I love how much Diablo's background shit mattered. Like, so much mattered.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
At
Yeah,
first
yeah.
glance, they'd seem to be a pretty even matchup. However, under normal circumstances, Testarossa would have the disadvantage, given how new she was in her body. However, that assumed Testarossa wasn't as belligerent as she was. Here you had Misery, who mostly performed office-style duties under Guy, against Testarossa, a fellow primal demon who had spent far more time fighting for influence with other demons. You didn't need to crunch the numbers to see the difference in battle experience. And what's more, Testarossa's associate, Moss, was with her.
Moss.
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 Mm.
Hey guys, you want to play a fun drinking game? Every time I say Moss, take a sip. Because
Okay.
No.
I want to
Okay,
do it
can do
every
it.
damn time.
No.
Moss.
You can blame Dan Avidan for that.
We're all gonna die.
Moss.
We're gonna die from alcohol poisoning. No.
Water.
Joke's
Water
on
poisoning,
you.
then.
I'm into that shit.
Oh, no. Anyway.
I may have more magical energy than she does, but I cannot afford to take on 2 demon peers at once, especially if one is Blanc or Noir, the more dangerous ones of them all. Sir Guy merely ordered me to stir up a small commotion in the capital, not risk my life attempting to defeat a fellow primal demon. If anything, it is more my duty to return alive and inform Sir Guy of this. Misery coldly gauged matters. She instantly recognized the difference in strength between them, and just as instantly, she made the best choice possible for her. You don't need to provoke me, Testero. You don't need to provoke me, Testero. No, wait. Oh, it's okay. You don't need to provoke me, Testarossa.
No, there's
My
a
goal
there's a
today-
pause. There's a pause because she was about to call her Blanc, and then she
Oh,
called her Testarossa.
Mm.
you don't need to provoke me, Testarossa. My goals today do not involve you. I have destroyed the capital's barrier, and that, I feel, is enough to fulfill my mission. Oh, are you running away? I am. My life belongs to Sir Guy. It is not something I have the right to throw away. Ah, I see. I will look forward to the next opportunity then. As will I, to be sure. I hope you get accustomed to your new body quickly, because when you lose, you shouldn't expect your excuses to work on me. Testarosa's smile broadened. Misery
Eee.
greeted it with a completely emotionless stare. The two watched each other for a while, then out of nowhere, Misery vanished. What?
You know what would have
What?
been a great parting gift? You know what would have
Huh.
been a great parting gift to Misery? If Testarossa had said, by the way, I'll send Ultima and Carrera your regards.
That would have been so great.
Just that knowledge bomb alone?
But
Just
no, Misery's doing another meme though.
Misery just like, wait,
Yes.
what? Wait, what? Oh, you know,
He says.
Jean and Violet.
yeah.
Mm.
What?
Oh, you didn't know?
Hold the fuck.
You didn't know? Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, you poor thing.
Didn't know.
You didn't
Yeah.
know? Noir, Jean,
Guy
Violet,
has you
and
two.
I?
Rimuru has us 4.
Yeah, Rimuru has
Yeah.
us 4.
And it's like,
You're fucked.
And then
Yeah.
there's the army of Diablo. Wait, what?
And then there's the whole army of us. You know, all 700. that we brought with
You know,
us.
it's kind of like the Avengers. Have you watched that movie? It's
Teleport,
like,
so she can't
we
have
have an
that.
army. We have a Hulk. Oh, wait, no, we also have the army.
We have the Hulk army. Like
Some
We
misery.
have the Hulk and the army of Hulks to go with him.
So it could be said that
And then a
misery
Hulk among
lacks
them.
company.
misery lacks company.
I love this.
All right. Yeah, like just this is beautiful. All right, so anyway.
Meanwhile, Hohan.
Meanwhile, at the Hall
Gerard.
of Justice. All right.
Hmm.
All right.
What? Gerard
What
was
just
the first to
happened?
react. With misery gone, everyone who remained didn't have the scantest idea what just happened.
So no one tell the person who summoned Misery what just happened. I feel like if somebody heard didn't kill her,
She's gonna hate
this probably would.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It's like,
Gerard.
so wait, I did that for nothing? Not nothing, but
Not nothing, but yeah. Yeah.
Close to nothing.
how many years did that shave off your life?
Just go to sleep.
Funny thing is, Misery could probably give them back.
Good.
It's like,
Here we
yeah,
go. I didn't need this.
reluctantly, she probably could.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I didn't do the thing technically you summoned me for, so...
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Here
she
you
could
go.
probably give them back. All right. Anyway.
Stuffs them back in her body. Like,
To Gerard, it looked for all the world like this god, this superhuman presence that Gerard's gang viewed as omnipotent, had just been talked into submission by a counselor with good looks and nothing else.
And just popped out.
oh,
To misery,
Did the abridged Goku.
Anyway.
to misery, the sons of the Veldt were nothing but disposable tools. Something she set up on a whim to watch over and collect intelligence from human society. She could replace them at any time, so the fate of Gerard and the rest were of no concern. They had been completely forsaken, but that reality wasn't one Gerard was willing to accept. No! Damn it! Thanks to you, our god has gone back! Enraged, Gerard began swinging at Testarossa. He was above A in rank, and that wasn't just for show. His speed with a sword made it impossible for most people to track his moves. But to Testarossa, he may as well have been frozen in place. Besides, she didn't even need to lift a finger. Moss was still there.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Moss!
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And Moss had no reason to let this insolent violence go unanswered. With a piercing ting, Gerard's sword was cut in half, and in another instant, Moss had Gerard restrained. Don't kill him, and don't kill the lofty Sir Johann over there either. But, Lady Testarossa, these two insulted you. The next moment, Moss was deafened. Do I have to say it again, Moss?
Yeah. She wouldn't actually say that word that way.
yeah.
No, she maybe humor it a
She wouldn't
little bit, but
yell
not too
it.
much.
She wouldn't say moss in that. She wouldn't say moss. She's not from Boston.
Fine.
Moss.
Boss.
Do I have to say it again, Moss? Not at all, my lord.
Yeah. Reminder.
was
Moss
selfish
looks
of
like
me.
an 8-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why I give him that
I made him
voice.
sound like a lizard person.
Yeah, kind of.
Whoops.
I kind of pictured him as Dan for some reason.
Anyway.
Oh.
Not at all, my lord. It was selfish of me to second guess you. He fell to a knee, immediately regretting his gaffe. Testarosa's good mood as of late had made him forget, but she could be an extremely egotistical woman. The same was true for Ultima and Carrera. Birds of a feather flock together, described them well. If you understand that, I will forgive you once more. What a generous person I am, aren't I, Moss? Don't you agree? Absolutely. Moss was
Yes, ma'am.
was as disobedient as he was smart.
as
Disobedient.
As obedient.
Was as obedient as he was smart. Despite the occasional mistake, he had been serving Testarossa through all her selfish
You're
whims
paying
for
a bit
over
too
10,000
much attention
years.
to saying moss and not enough attention to
Moss.
the rest of the
Yeah.
sentence.
A feat that no one else could even duplicate. Thus, Johann, Gerard, and Ein were all in custody, bound down along with the soldiers who served them. It wasn't meant to be this way. Gerard, thoroughly defeated by Moss, had a cooler head now. Gradually, the conversation between Misery and Testarossa ensconced itself in his mind, helping him comprehend it. Our god recognized her as an equal? Blanc. By Blanc, did she mean the original white? He was aware of the primal demons, hence why he noticed Testarosa's true identity. The moment he did, his ego all but imploded. Now he understood just who their enemy was, and that his soul would never enjoy another day of peace in his life. As strong as he thought himself to be, it was valueless against the primal demons. Insane laughter echoed out of Gerard. In a strange way, this was actually a happy ending for him. They were all handed over to the magical inquisitors, and weren't even cognizant enough to realize it. Johann, meanwhile, looked like he had aged a couple decades, sitting on the floor and staring into space as he mumbled. I failed. Sir Granville's hope, his final request. I couldn't do it. No, you couldn't do much of anything, Testarossa scoffed, her words bearing lethal poison as she whispered them into his ear. Her sweet breath tickled his eardrums, mumbling his very mind. Or numbing his very mind. Yeah, it might be. Damn it. Damn it!
Oh, look, he's pulling a Vegeta.
If only you weren't here, everything would have worked out perfectly. Oh, would it have? Well, sorry about that. I suppose I got in the way, but you'll just have to chalk that up to fate, won't you? Now I think some people are waiting behind me, so I'll just step out of the way.
Breaks his arm.
Without another word, Testarossa ran a snowy white finger across Johann's jawline, then left the scene for the magical inquisitors to take over. No! Stay away! Don't come near me! Silently, the inquisitors seized him. Halt! No! No! Let me go! Who do you think I am? Do you bastards have any idea what you're doing? My homeland won't take this sitting down! You're setting off an international incident!
God damn, that's good. Yeah.
That was really
Johann.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Johann screamed his head off. Nobody reacted. Nobody lifted a hand to help. Of course they didn't. With these many witnesses on hand, Johann was all but assured to face justice. No crying now, no carrying on. You must atone for your crimes. You'll have friends joining you, won't you? I'm sure it'll be loads of fun. Damn all of you! You accursed demon! I hope you burn in hell!
Oh, thank
Yes,
you.
I like that. Ah, why is the howling of the truly lost such sweet music to my ears? But you're cursing the wrong person. Any crimes committed in the council, you realize, are judged in a court of law. And if those crimes include treason, plotting against the state, or other insurrectionist behavior, that falls under the jurisdiction of the Kingdom of Inglacia. Too bad, isn't it? I'm afraid I have no legal right to personally punish you. I could have done it anyway and called it self-defense, I suppose.
Oh.
But you're a little too weak for me to claim that.
Damn!
Oh, she's just
Damn!
grinding her heel into his nutsack. Oh my god.
Jericho's flaw.
Oh!
Oh.
I think I would
I
like
could
for
do that.
Testarossa
That
to
was
step
good.
on me.
It's just,
I would like
just-
that. God
it's
damn.
just verbal CBT, dude. It's
Oh.
absolute verbal CBT.
Ooh.
Ah.
God.
Wow.
She
Yep.
seems so nice,
Poor
and then
Johann
now it's
Sebastian.
oh no.
She was
She
so
seemed so nice
nice.
at first, and now it's just
Yeah.
Percy, show him some mercy.
Stop! He's
already dead. Yeah.
We gotta finish.
just, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Testarossa let out a blissful laugh as she faced the frantic Johann. Everything she said was in compliance with international law. With the law as her shield, she had cornered Johann with an incontrovertible argument.
She
Thus-
needed a shield.
Johann was now in custody, and much like old Count Gabon, he would likely be dealt with in secret so that he'd never see the light of day again. When
Shit.
you looked purely
Ah,
at the externals of all
That's
this...
that's the stopping point for you. We're at 9:30.
Ah, damn.
Oh, you were
Yeah,
right
you
there
were in it.
too.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's like...
two
it's-
more
Solid.
paragraphs. Come on.
Nope.
Well, nah, okay, that's just for the picture, so...
That's
okay.
just for the picture. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When you looked purely at the externals of all this, Testarossa had just banished a demon, bent on destroying the kingdom. She had saved the counselors, the council itself, and all of Inglacia, too. To say the least, it solidified her position within the council. Nobody could compare with her in brains and brawn. The chairman wanted her at far more important posts now. Her reputation would be known far and wide shortly. Now, Testarossa's rule over the West was complete. Now Testarossa has become Supreme Chancellor.
God, I love democracy.
I love democracy.
If only she was my granddaughter.
Good old Testarossa Palpatine.
I'm so proud of her. My granddaughter's so powerful. I'm so proud of her. It brings a tear to this old eye of mine.
You have a granddaughter?
Oh, God, no, not this asshole. I'm so happy. We gotta tell everybody. Ignore him, please. Spirits, come listen. Listen to this. She's
All right. Nobody can compare with her. All right, so okay. Do you think he read all of this? She said to Moss. We're all dancing on Sir Rimuru's palm, aren't we? What a truly, truly wonderful ruler. Yes, there's no telling how deep his talents run. Dude, I love how he's getting all this accidental credit.
Yeah.
I firmly agree.
Like, wait, I did what with the who now?
Yeah.
I firmly agree, but today's events might drive Guy Crimson to get far more serious. And if he does, we'll have to firm up our powers. No matter the storm facing us, we must show the public that no one shall block the path of our master. I'm glad you understand. May you remain just as diligent going forward. I expect great things from you. And tell Cian for me, won't you? Absolutely, my master. Testarossa gave him a satisfied smile and an elegant nod. Over in the north, Cian, one of Testarossa's demon servants, was holding his own until Elmesia's magus forces could arrive. Thanks to Guy not being all that serious about this invasion, the demons saw their positions weaken in due time, and in the blink of an eye they had retreated. Thus marked the end of the disturbance in the west. But in a way, the true upheaval was only about to begin.
The dots.
Hey, I just received word from Misery, but why the heck does Blanc have a name now? Oh, you mean Testarossa? Well, it proves that she, too, understands the glory and wonder of Sir Rimuru. Diablo was all too eager to explain things to the nonplussed Guy. And it sounds like they're making mincemeat of my minions out there. Guess this little prank blew up in my face, didn't it? Naturally. It is all according to Sir Rimuru's plan, and Guy, you too are being taken advantage of. Diablo, completely unbeknownst to Rimuru, was keeping up with his taunting. If Rimuru was here, he'd probably be holding Diablo's arms back and screaming, "Have you gone insane, you fool?" in his face. So did that bum Rimuru named Testarossa? Yes, he did.
Lord Rimuru did, yes.
And her getting a physical body and evolving into a demon peer? All the blessings of Sir Rimuru, yes. Oh. Diablo's smile widened as Guy's headache intensified. Rain, stationed behind him, turned white at the enormity of the news. Are you serious? We've somehow maintained this delicate balance of battle skill of the past millennia and a half-ish, and now it's all crashing down! Guy had to resist the urge to laugh. A three-way deadlock between primal demons, the East in a standoff with the West, Luminous in a staring contest against Dagrel. Somehow, everything had balanced itself just right. That was now gone in the course of a single day. Suddenly, he was struck with a dark foreboding. He turned to Diablo. Hey, so if Testarossa's now above the other two, what are they up to right now? Ultima and Carrera, you mean? Sir Rimuru put them... Sir Rimuru, I don't know where that came from.
I mean...
Nice.
Sir
Demon
Rimuru put them
Lord
up to
Rimuru.
Sir Rimuru put them to work as well, of course. And let me assure you, they couldn't be happier. Wait! Hold it right there! Guy stopped the smiling Diablo before he went into full gear. What? I'm getting to the good part. Being interrupted just when he was about to banter away offended Diablo. Guy, as always, wanted nothing but facts. It's gonna be another long story, isn't it? It would have to be, wouldn't it? That was up for debate, but Guy had no intention of doing so. Well, I'll listen to the whole thing later, so, this Ultima and Carrera you mentioned. Ah, yes, Ultima is Violet, the original purple, and Carrera is Jean, the original yellow. You really must call them by their names, because they have a rather short fuse if you don't. In fact, they've all but forgotten their old monikers as of late. They have?
Allow me to explain. He brings out the
PowerPoint!
This is,
Yeah,
Violet is this person.
Alright.
Then there's this
Yeah.
person now.
See, there we go.
like that.
There we go. Ultima. All right. So if you go back and back if you go back and watch the Slime movie, Diablo versus Ultima. There we go. Done. We figured it out.
It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
I love it when a plan comes together.
All right. Guy was at a loss for words. Come on! What the hell could that bastard Reaver have been thinking? Noir I can understand. He's always been a strange one, but if Violet and Jean are jumping on his bandwagon, it's not so funny anymore. And Blanc, too? The proudest out of all the primals, and now she's also serving someone else? He mulled this over as Diablo kept casually chatting. I invited them, mind you. Having more work to do is certainly a welcome thing, but if I cannot support Sir Rimuru directly, there's no point to it. Don't you think so? Huh? Now Guy eyed him with great suspicion, wondering if he heard him correctly. He may have wielded absolute power in this world, but now Diablo was verbally toying with him. This way, you see, I can give the trivial duties to, that is, I was looking for companions to work alongside me, and their schedules were free, so I invited them. Having these stupid power struggles for all time is simply ridiculous, so I told them to grow up a little and help out Sir Rimuru. Guy internally cursed this proud Diablo. This is all you're doing? If anyone needs to grow up here, it's you! So Rimuru brought them on after you invited them and gave them names and bodies?
Yes, it's quite simple. I can't imagine how hard this is to
Yes.
explain
Like,
to you
literally,
guys.
it's like,
I love
yes,
what Daxter
and
put in the chat.
yes.
Rimuru,
This isn't a very hard concept to understand, Guy. I don't know why you're having such a hard time with
yeah,
this.
yeah, exactly. I love this.
I don't know why you're
Yeah, I
having
was
such a
like,
hard time
really?
with this. Did
Are
you
they
read the
really
other volumes?
for real?
It's like, did you not read volume 10?
Do I need to pull out the PowerPoint again? It's really quite
He's got like a
simple.
whole volume in his hands. Like, did you not see that?
It's like,
Did you not
literally
read the pamphlet?
Like, it's literally in
it's-
this book.
it's like-
it happened.
Were you not watching the stream?
if you had let me just unrolls the thing. If you had let me read my pamphlet. Like,
Did you not pay
It's not a
attention to
pamphlet,
the
that's a whole
news
goddamn
bulletin?
monologue.
come on, man.
Did you
know.
not
I
read
made it that way.
Rimruism News Weekly?
I had a sales pitch and everything. If you just let me read.
I was do you know how many hours I spent mulling this over in careful detail, handing out the pamphlets in Tempest?
Do you know
And
how
having them
difficult it is
shipped
to
out
put
over the
all of
Western
this
Nation?
in? I rewrote this
All right.
500 times.
Anyway. Exactly.
Just really overselling this. Like, you really should have heard it. I'm really offended, Guy.
I'm really offended guy.
Unbelievable.
K. Anyway.
I love our version of Diablo
Exactly.
better. Just way over the top.
Exactly. Thinking about how rudely they treated Sir Rimuru at first fills me with such murderous rage even today. However, they're proving to be quite helpful. If Sir Rimuru is not bothered by it, then I am open to generously forgiving them. Diablo was strange enough, but Guy knew full well that Rimuru was beyond abnormal. Naming primal demons was something your average demon lord should never be capable of doing. It was lethally dangerous, opening you to the risk of either dying or simply being poofed out of existence. Besides, even if a primal demon's power was recognized and praised, that demon would never bow down or serve anyone. If they were named, they would repay the favor by consuming the namer's soul. That's all. This wasn't just a matter of being crazy or overly confident in oneself. I think I'd better talk things over with him directly with him, Guy concluded. Right. I'm gonna go pay a visit to Rimuru soon. Oh, I will pass that on. It will only invite more trouble. God damn it. Guy was already balling his hands into fists, but losing his temper would put him out of the game. Diablo was a unique case. If he ripped him apart right now, he'd just resurrect himself. Guy was fully aware of that, so he never took the bait. Nah, think about it. I want to hear more about your story, you know? And we can't really relax and chat over matters amid all this stuff, can we? And Dino's been telling me about how prosperous Rimuru's lands have become. I'm getting kind of curious. He put a hand on Diablo's shoulder, acting buddy-buddy as he spoke. Well, all right. In that case, you are welcome to visit. I'm sure Sir Rimuru would be delighted. Diablo, for his part, never minded when people complimented Tempest. Feeling a bit better, he accepted Guy's request. If Rimuru were here, he'd probably be screaming even louder now. Good Lord, he thought when Diablo briefed him on it later. He's learning all the bad lessons from Shion and none of the good ones. Thus, unbeknownst to Rimuru yet, Diablo and Guy's conversation came to a close. In any case, if all of you are on hand, I'm out of here. Yes, I'm sure Sir Rimuru will handle things here, no matter what happens. Will he? Well, tell him I said hello. I will. In that case, I look forward to seeing you again soon. With that, Guy was gone.
I never get the
that's what he
picture.
looks like.
I actually was kind of sad that it's Guy putting his hand on Diablo instead of the other way around. Because I'd imagine it'd be like, all right, Guy, I can help. I'll humor you this one time. As long as you pay attention, memorize the following volumes of the book.
This picture makes it look like they're dating.
Dude, to be fair, it's like you must, before you visit Tempest, hands him the Book of Rimuruism. You must read this book.
And memorize it.
Memorize it
I will
word
test you
for
later.
word.
There will be a quiz.
Yeah,
I
he
will
would.
even
He
quit.
would.
You do not get an audience with Rimuru if you don't at least get a 70%.
No, this is Diablo.
At least.
This is Diablo.
or-
95 or higher.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yes.
This is Diablo.
Yeah.
Shh. I ship it.
Well, no, he's a demon lord, so I think he'd cut him a little slack.
No.
No. If anything,
No.
it would
No,
be
it would-
if
no.
you get anywhere between
95.
an 80 and a 95, I will only kill you slightly.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is Guy we're talking about. He'd raise it.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Diablo sighed.
Oh.
It seems I somehow made it through that, I suppose. If Guy decided to interfere with things, I couldn't say that would happen. I couldn't say what would happen then. Even I have trouble dealing with him after all. I need to get stronger. Only his echoing laughter could be heard.
Ooh.
Who am I talking to?
Himself. He's talking to himself. Guys.
No, he's talking to us.
Yeah, well.
Breaking the fourth wall.
No, he's not. He's very, very not. All right, anyway.
Do you, the audience, know of our good Lord and Savior Rimuru?
Our Lord and Savior.
Could you imagine?
He's handing out
Like, it
Rimuru
being-
pins.
No, it's 3D.
I
They
like
put it in
Ike.
3D, and then he suddenly turns. It's like, some more people to be converted. Have you heard of
what?
my Lord and Savior?
No, he's like, well,
And then-
no, he just turns and he's like, well, not all people know about our.
We're going to war with
faithful
Guy
leader.
Crimson,
Isn't
guys.
that right, Richie?
We're going to war with Guy. We're going to war
yeah.
with Guy Crimson, everybody. Why? He pressed the
Yeah.
Rimuru button. You shouldn't have did that.
No, did that.
All right, anyway.
Isn't
Yeah.
that right, Richie?
I did no such thing.
Yeah, he just points out all of us.
I am a
No,
devout
he's just
follower.
talking to all of
Fat
us.
Dog Studios.
Yeah, fat dog. It's like, what?
He's too powerful. He's gotten to Twitch. He's watching the stream right now. Oh, we gotta go.
He's coming for us because we
okay.
made fun of slime. We made an abridged
We
parody.
made fun of his TED Talk.
Oh.
We made-
Dare make fun of my dear Lord Rimuru, but then we just had to be like,
You dare
no,
call
no,
him
if you
an
showed it to him,
idiot?
he'd like it. He'd really like it.
Dude, we're the motherfuckers that invented Rimaruism. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And for that, I
True.
will spare you. Those three, on the other hand, oh no. Well, it's Soe. You can't kill Soe. You can kill Moon, though.
If you're the
Excuse me.
government,
Fuck you.
if you're the government or the Church of Rimuru, you get the fuck off my. If you're with the government or the Church
If
of
you're
Rimuru,
from the government or the Church of Rimuru,
get the fuck off my property.
Property.
Get the fuck
Which,
off my
given
property.
some time, will be effectively everything.
If you're from the government of the Church of Rimuru, get the fuck off my property. Diablo shows up. I'm sorry, what the hell did you just say?
It's like, okay, sorry. I just wanted the place to be young. I'm out.
I get to kill Moon. Sign me up.
No, that says sing. That
Sign
clearly
Alright.
me
says
up.
sing.
I know what
Yep.
he meant. I know what he meant though.
You know, you gotta correct
Sorry.
yourself.
Sing you up. God damn it.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, he pressed the
The press
she's
button,
button.
right?
Alright, anyway,
I don't
so
go that far.
Demonologist. We're going to be playing the demo of that soon, right? Because it's free.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Is
I've
the
heard
demo out now? Download?
the
Contrary to
demo is
popular
out and
belief,
it's free.
I kind of
yeah.
like being scared.
To be fair, I've heard it's a much worse game than Phasmo.
Like
as in
worse as
scarier or
far
worse
as like
in-
it's actually shit, or just like it's worse scare wise.
It's worse scare wise and it's tougher.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
So- Yeah. One of these days we're gonna take a break from light novel readings and just play that. We're just gonna
Halloween, maybe.
nah. Why wait?
It's always gonna be the one to surprise us, just all the time.
We're just gonna have we're just gonna have a Shem of a time. Shem is just gonna be
Oh,
our
God.
announcer. We're not gonna make him play. He's just gonna announce. He's gonna be our play-by-play announcer.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Ooh,
Pops
how
up from around the
unfortunate.
corner.
Like channel
Who
hero.
got Sonic killed?
And here
Oh,
comes
Alright,
Beelzebub
we
with a steel
see
chair.
here that Richie has found the demon. What was that?
Here comes Beelzebub with a steel
Beelzebub
chair.
with a steel chair
Oh no!
from the top rope.
Oh no! All right, here we go.
Oh
Oh!
You can scare the shit out
Sonic's
of
gonna
me.
feel that one in the morning.
Deep inside the cathedral.
Meanwhile, on the other side of Cathedral,
Oh, no.
Moon just heard it. Did you hear? I
no!
think I heard
Mr.
Sonic
Titan,
scream.
do you have any comment on what's happening right now?
And it's just the demon, the
Magnets.
devil from South Park.
Magnets. I get iron in
The
my
camera's
blood
broken,
because iron in my blood because I eat my spinach.
Mhm.
That makes
That makes
sense.
sense.
That camera's broken, right?
Someone tweet
I have no
at
fucking idea.
Master Wuggles.
I have no fucking idea.
All right, anyway.
The
Deep
camera's
inside the
broken,
cathedral,
Yeah.
a fierce battle was taking place. The chop unleashed by Louis had Louis had enough slashing.
Yeah.
We gotta go. Had enough slashing force to cut through any obstacle. The accompanying shockwave continuing to pursue Lapis even after he retreated far away. Lapis still
Oh, yeah, I
had no
forgot we had
trouble
a battle.
dodging it, however, breezily smiling as he did. Well, you're Roy's brother then. You twins or something? I'd quit while I was ahead if I were you. You can't beat me, you know. Despite darting around, pretending to look for an escape, Lapis was still as talkative as ever. Louis, meanwhile, remained unaffected. Being evaded didn't concern him as he continued swinging both arms at Lapis. They had made their way outside the burial chamber, a kind of natural progression as Lapis continued dodging Louis's strikes. Yes, as you say, Roy was my twin brother. We were equally as powerful, and we looked similar, too. If there's any difference, it is that he had a violent streak, and I was far less emotional. But I will inform you that I am superior to him in one way. My eyes are much keener. Yeah? So what? I can take my time observing my opponent's skills, movements, and targets. It's been clear to me for quite some time that you're trying to strike me when I'm unguarded. Huh! Better than your brother then, eh? But good eyes ain't gonna be enough to beat me. We'll see about that. Also, my name is Louis. I'm just gonna go with Louis. I'm more than just someone's brother. Roy and I were never on the best terms, in fact. Can't say I care much. Laplace seemed carefree in his element as he traded blows with Lewis, or really dodged the one-sided rain of blows coming his way. His eyes showed in the most eloquent terms that he, not Lewis, was doing the observing. You must be tired by now, no? Lewis shouted. Time for you to go to sleep. He stepped up the intensity of his attacks. I'm telling you, you're wasting your time. Am I? Let me go stronger, then. Although the tone of his voice hadn't changed, Laplace suddenly began to feel uncertain. Whenever he had a foreboding like this, it usually wound up true. With a leap some would describe as exaggerated, he instantly jumped back from the fray. His intuition was correct. Lewis' attack had fanned out, pulverizing the space he stood on moments ago. What the hell's all that power? It had clearly skyrocketed in the last swipe. If Laplace was still hopping around making fun of Lewis, he wouldn't have been able to defend in time. The damage would have been terrific. Whew. Now I'm getting used to this. Now I'm getting used to this. If you evaded that, you're certainly not one to be trifled with. Oh, if you evaded that, you're certainly not one to be trifled with. You wanted to put me off guard so you could do me in with one shot? I won't say that didn't come to mind, but I think I can win without resorting to such underhanded measures. Huh? Laplace had taken Roy down. Roy, at the time, had certainly underestimated him, but even discounting that, Laplace was a far better fighter, and Laplace took the fight seriously. Roy might have been a stand-in for the Demon Lord Luminous, but he was an even match for the Demon Lord Causalim, a sort of father figure to Laplace and his cohorts. He'd never go into a fight against someone like Roy unprepared. What you saw just now was an application of Blood Ray. It hides its magical presence in order to reduce my opponent's wariness of me. Of course, it won't work again now that I've shown it to you, will it? It was sort of like revealing his hand, but he explained the skill to Laplace anyway. Hearing that gave him an even deeper sense of foreboding. This ain't good. Is he buying time for himself? What's this guy after? Laplace's intuition was already sounding the alarm. If this keeps up, he decided, one of these tricks was bound to snare him. So without hesitation, he tapped one of his innermost secrets. That's why you must die here! With that declaration from, that's why you must die here. With that declaration from Lewis, the area around Laplace exploded. The shockwave focused itself around the center, offering Laplace no avenue of escape. The waves of blood particles were already locked onto him. The fight was over. Anyone would conclude as much. The flames burned high in the air as a human figure inside them collapsed. It's too bad Roy and I used to be one and the same. We were separated by the power of Lady Luminous. And with Roy dead, I've regained my original powers. Oh, sorry, I read that whole sentence structure wrong. It's too bad. Roy and I used to be one and the same. We were separated by the power of Lady Luminous. And with Roy dead, I've regained my original powers. Once there existed a bloody lord too violent, too vicious for anyone to handle. Luminous managed to defeat him, adding him to her forces, but he was still too vicious that he caused constant trouble for the rest of Luminous's ranks. Thus she split him into two separate men, naming one the Holy Emperor and her right-hand man, and the other her stand-in as Demon Lord. In other words, Lewis was complete once more, regaining the powers he previously enjoyed. From the start, no matter how much more powerful Laplace was, he was convinced he could win, and that was why. Whoa! I was really cutting it close! Laplace dragged himself up, a sight that gave Lewis pause, a moment's hesitation that Laplace wasn't about to ignore. Let's go, Footman! If this keeps up, you're gonna die! Ho ho ho! I hate to say it, but it looks like you're right. Footman had already been battered from head to toe by Gunther. He was the most powerful of the three servants under Luminous, and while he lost out to the fully restored Lewis, Footman still had no chance. Laplace had kept careful tabs on their battle even as he fought his own, and his conclusion was dead on accurate. Even if I gave this all I had, I couldn't take down the whole lot of them. And they'll probably kill Footman first. Best to run while the running's good, I'd say. Our diversion worked well enough. No need to expose ourselves to danger over it. So Laplace, shouting out loud to distract Lewis, sprang into action. It worked. In another moment, Laplace and Footman were away from the deadly battleground. All that remained in the burial chamber were Luminous and Maria Rosso. Luminous, perhaps hesitating to attack Maria, had yet to really throw herself into battle. The fact that Maria could keep up with her high-speed fighting was proof enough that she was no fake. It was definitely Maria. The kind, affectionate Maria she knew. Granville must have been preserving her corpse, so this is a death golem using her body. Or maybe not? This unconscious shell is a servant generated by raised dead necromancy. So he stooped low enough to tap into forbidden magic? Anyone who's lost a loved one has fostered hope of seeing them alive one more time, but it's a lost cause. Even Luminous could see why Granville would resort to necromancy, but it was all theoretical. Something to imagine and not act upon. To someone as far removed from death as Luminous was, she had no way of understanding the true nature of sadness. Maria was a saint for the hero Gren, acting as his servant and confidant. He confronted her as well, trying to relieve he comforted her as well, trying to relieve the heavy burden of her position. They enjoyed an intimate relationship, one that would even their then foe Luminous envied. What would it take for Granville to make her a zombie servant? And if she's this strong, that couldn't have been the only forbidden magic he cast. Maria was using a litany of special skills to hold her own against Luminous, including what seemed to be several uniques. Luminous wasn't sure how to handle this, and that made her worry. She is astounding, but still weak. I doubt that fool Grin thought he had a chance against me. So why then? Suddenly, intense anxiety attacked her. Something told her she was overlooking something extremely important. Lady Luminous, the invaders gave us the slip. Lewis is currently pursuing them, and I was about to join them. Just then, Gunther came back to report. The moment his voice trailed off, Luminous saw what was wrong. Something was missing from the chamber, something vitally important. Now even Luminous's heterochromatic eyes could see it as they followed Gunther's gaze. The coffin of spirit-infused ice, the relic they took such great pains to store here, had disappeared. Luminous fell to confusion, unable to speak or accept this reality. It was something that should never have happened. It threw her, exposing her to Maria's full attack. "Lady Luminous!" She could hear Gunther's concerning shout, but she couldn't listen. The pain racking her body was the stimulus she needed to keep a cool head. She appreciated it. The rational part of her brain began to consider her options anew.
Take your medicine.
Yeah, one more time.
This is a reminder. Take your medicine.
All right, cool.
Bill's here.
Yeah, pills here. All right. Calming her desires to scream against it all, she faced up to her reality. No matter how much her emotions refused to accept this, her cold analytical skills gave her the facts. The coffin of ice had been stolen. And that was that. In another few moments, Luminous harnessed the anger bubbling up within her to stab right through Maria's chest. "You would go this far, Granville? You have incurred my full wrath, Grin." With a scream of fury, she unleashed her hidden magic force. In an instant, this unprecedented level of mad tyranny destroyed the burial chamber. A swirl of chaotic magical force pulled around her. She had created a dimension of death, one nobody would even dare approach. Gunther! Yes, my lady. Find them. Find the invaders, as you wish. There was no need to say
She
more.
just pulled Vegeta.
Realizing Luminous's intentions, Gunther quickly sprang into action. As truly angry as she was, not even Gunther could be completely safe here. If we fail, Lubelius itself could fall. She ran away at full speed, compelled to act. Luminous, left alone, struggled to control her rage. If she made a move right now, her analytical side told her it would only make things worse. It was natural for her to keep her thoughts separate from her emotions. But even with that, this came at a massive shock. Or as a massive shock. This cannot stand. We must keep it safe until the time comes, or else it may spell doom for the entire world. And if even I cannot handle the fallout. The Ark was given to her by a trusted friend. Mishandling it could unleash disaster, and so she kept it sealed and under strict guard. Carefully, she analyzed her situation. Only she could undo the seal on that Ark. It was a tremendously powerful barrier, one whose holy force could even burn the body of Luminous, the one who installed it. But now it had been carried off. Who could have done it? Anyone capable of taking it away must be at least as powerful as me. Someone classified as a demon lord or better. All the chaos Granville sowed in the cathedral must have been just a diversion. Who would he leave this true mission to? If Granville was willing to offer himself as bait, he must have been sure this person could steal the Ark. A bet that certainly paid off. No, it's too soon to call this lost. Weakness is a sin. Right now. What did Granville want with the coffin? First, she needed to find out. She knew she hadn't told him anything about the Ark. It was supposed to be the most closely guarded of secrets. Not even Gunther and Lewis knew any details about the girl sealed inside. And here was Granville using every card at his disposal. He must have been absolutely resolved in his mission. It was almost eerie to Luminous. His drive to succeed today was malicious. He wanted to get this done, no matter what the fallout was. All right. First, let's find out what your true motives are. With that whisper, she turned her eyes toward the cathedral. All right. Bring us home, Shim.
Oh, okay.
You got the last half hour.
Gotcha. I'd gotten my intentions across to Leon. He crossed swords with me, this is him. He crossed swords with me, and to the outside observer, it must have looked like a serious sword fight.
They're crossing
and it was.
swords. Gay?
He
Had to bring it back.
If I stopped for... He had to.
Mm.
If I stopped for even a moment, he cut me down. Wait, did he really understand what I wanted from him? As far as I could tell, Leon must have understood that Grandma was behind all this. Now all we'd have to do is this bit of sword sparring for a while until the time was right, and then we'd be fine. That's what I thought anyway, but Leon was really giving me no time to rest. It was crazy fast. Hinata's pace with the sword was amazing enough, but Leon sure wasn't any slouch. Like her, he was a traditionalist with a sword, showing off a beautiful stance. Since my education from Hakuro, I had begun to teach myself a thing or two. I fight with more than just a sword, so I can't really help it. With Raphael watching over me, I'm pretty sure I'm not doing anything that hurt myself, at least. But enough about that. We were talking about how sharp his attacks were. I thought he was really out to kill me, but his face had almost no expression on it. It's hard to tell whether he really meant to harm me. Began to grow a little worried about trusting him.
You're muted.
Fuck. Sorry, I had just taken my
All
pills,
good.
so I forgot to
All
unmute.
Understood. There is no problem. Using predict future attack to synchronize our plans.
That was a relief then. I would just leave this, keep leaving this to Raphael's auto battle mode. But that wasn't my only concern. For a while now, I'd been detecting rumblings underground. I thought the bedrock might be moving. Such was the enormity of the shaking. It's probably the work of Luminous.
Make that bedrock move.
Yeah, just...
As if it couldn't get any gayer.
Good.
There we go. Yeah.
Probably the work of Luminous, I thought. Oh, sorry. A figure who still wasn't present. We've had problems up here. She had problems down there. This sure wasn't your run-of-the-mill scandal, no. I was definitely an involved party at this point, and if it was anyone but me, or anybody but me, it'd probably become a huge diplomatic fight. Not that Luminous would care, but regardless. Shion and Ranga were still struggling against the insectoid Razul. Hinata seemed to be keeping it even with Granville, but I had the impression that Granville hadn't tapped his full skills yet. That fight dragged on. I had a feeling Hinata would be at a disadvantage soon. So no, things weren't really going swimmingly for us. I wasn't even sure what I should try to wrap up first. But as I analyzed the battle, I suddenly detected a huge burst of magical power from down below. That was Luminous for sure. The cathedral's flooring flew into the air, opening a circular hole 6 or so feet in diameter. The blast of heat that shot up from it broke straight through the ceiling, ascending to the heavens. His power was ridiculous, but I'm sure it was kid stuff to Luminous. It seems you're serious about antagonizing me, Granville. Luminous appeared from the hole, carrying a beautiful woman in her arms, and the moment she did, she clearly indicated that she wanted Granville dead. Now things are gonna move, I thought. Leon must have thought so too, because his eyes were on Luminous. Well done, Lady Luminous. Not even my servant could halt you, could she? She was a masterpiece of mine, you know. I infused her with the power of only my best hand-picked otherworlders. You fool. Pull together all the fake imitations you want. An unconscious doll could never beat the real thing. You, of all people, should know that. Oh, I do, of course. Granville, faced with an enraged Luminous, remained serene. The speed of Hinata's sword grew sharper against him, but Granville easily parried every strike as composed as ever. She could steal her opponent's skills, but apparently that didn't work on him. Arts, unlike skills, couldn't be used immediately after taking them. Is the difference between reading about baseball and winning the World Series. Only through continued training could you hone those arts. Granville's strength was the result of years of that kind of training, and now he was humming along as stable as the unmoving earth. Strong, isn't he? Leon whispered to me. They don't call him a former hero for nothing. No, he's a bit better than I thought. In that case, Luminous said, ignoring us, what were you doing with this? She laid the woman in her arms down. It looked like she was sleeping, but she wasn't. She was most definitely dead, a corpse that had been used for servitude, with no soul inside. Pumping her with energy was a pointless endeavor. I knew that well. Why do you continue to denigrate Maria, even after her death? I guess Luminous knew this woman. Maria, huh? Her face resembled Maribel's a little. Did that mean she was... I needed her, or because I needed her. Everything was for the sake of this exact moment. Before the quizzical Luminous, Granville removed the glove on his left hand. The magical patterns on it were glowing, and now Maria's corpse was glowing with it. What are you? It was Luminous who said it, but everybody there was thinking the same thing. Leon stopped engaging with me, watching over the proceedings. There was no point keeping the act going. I almost forgot why we started in the first place. Then, before our eyes, something unbelievable happened. Maria's body turned into a ball of light, flowing straight into Granville's glowing hand. As it did, his body began pulsating with power. Visually, not just in terms of magical energy. His process was revitalizing his body's cells. His white hair turned into a shining blonde, his withered skin regaining its youthful luster. There in front of us all was Granville Rosso from his former day or his younger days, the hero of years past, his eyes dead sharp. You took all the love energy I gave you and injected it into Maria. Granville nodded at Luminous. Love energy, if I recall correctly, is a type of energy meant to retain one's youth. So he mixed that with some other powers to rejuvenate himself. The result is the Granville we're looking at now? Lady Luminous. Or how about I call you, or just call you Luminous? I still need to settle things with you. I realized some time ago that I can't die until I do. Now that Maribel is dead, my ambitions have been crushed. But still, above all else, this is what I desire. You don't toy with me. Luminous and Hinata both responded simultaneously. The young Granville turned towards Hinata. Ah, yes, Hinata. I still need to provide you with my guidance. You are the most talented of all the apprentices I dealt with. You always strove to improve, never afraid to make an effort and polish yourself. I will gladly praise your excellence any day. But, with that, Granville casually swung his blade. The effects were beyond belief. Melt Slash! No! You can control spiritual particles with no casting delay? Hinata dodged it, which amazed me, but Granville's ability to handle Overblade skills with such nonchalance was jaw-dropping, completely beyond anyone's imagination. Hinata, I always wondered why you never became a hero. It takes more than talent and hard work. Unless you have the love of the elemental spirits, you will never qualify to be one. But you had that love, and yet, well, sorry. Whether they love me or not, sometimes things are just beyond your reach, I suppose. If you awakened your hero side, it would have helped my ambitions immensely. So here's a word of advice. You hold darkness within your heart, don't you? Did you kill someone close to you in the past? Your parents? Your brother? A friend? Shut up! Hinata had retreated to avoid his melt slash, but now she shot back into position, lunging at Granville. Something about what he said must have touched a raw nerve. Anger filled her eyes. The high-pitched ring of sword against sword filled the air. Granville remained steadfast as Hinata was helplessly blown away. There was just too much of a difference. Seeing Hinata treated like a child made me doubt my eyes. You never accepted the elemental of light. You have to overcome this.
Hey,
The
Rimuru,
darkness
here's a
is
good
just in your
idea.
heart.
Don't stand there like an
Yeah, just
idiot.
go.
Why don't we
fucking
just
hell.
stand around
Wait,
like idiots
someone
until
gonna
somebody
intervene
does
in
something?
this?
You know?
Yeah, that's no.
Why don't we just stand around like idiots until somebody does something?
You're not in a cutscene. Go.
But this is
You
anime.
never accepted. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah. You never accepted the elemental of light. You have to overcome this. The darkness is just an illusion your heart creates for itself. You must forgive your past self and take pride in the present, the way you live. Then you accept the light. I told you, shut up! Granville's cold eyes sized up the enraged Hinata. It's a pity, Hinata. If I had more time, I could have guided you. But if you can't understand me, then it's best for you to face the truth. How will you ever save the world if you can't even protect what you hold dear? My instincts told me this was bad. With this conversation, everyone's eyes were now focused on Hinata. What if Granville wanted that? And what he wanted...
Report. According to predict future attack, his goal is...
His sword swung down in a slash. It was disintegration, and there was no way to stop it. It was more of a stabbing move than a slash. Call it melt strike if you want. It came down at close to light speed, and no doubt it gouged its way into its target, so I ran as fast as I could towards them. According to my calculations, not even me at full speed would reach them in time. But if I could use Beelzebub to consume it, and the air around it, even if I couldn't capture these spiritual particles moving at light speed, I knew they were targeted towards Chloe, so I could get ahead of them. Chloe! By the time I finished shouting, everything was over. Hinata was the first to move. Without a moment's hesitation, she stepped between Chloe and Granville's line of fire. Sacrificing her own body, she took the melt strike blow to her chest. It stabbed right through her, and she collapsed to the ground, coughing up blood. But all it did was lower the speed of that beam of light a little as it extended towards Chloe. The next person to move after Hinata, surprisingly enough, was Venom. Just like Hinata, he tried to sacrifice himself to protect Chloe. He must have been awfully faithful to Diablo's orders, because he had kept himself focused on protecting the kids over everything else. That's why he was in time for that moment. Oh, man. There was a huge hole in his stomach, but he seemed pretty chill about it. Okay, that's a demon for you. As long as your soul's safe, any damage to your body was apparently just window dressing. If Granville was aiming for him, it might be a different story, but for now, he could tend to himself. Then, thanks to the minuscule amount of time Hinata and Venom brought for me, I made it over. Consuming the air in front of Chloe, I all but instantly teleported in time. Now I just needed to activate Uriel's absolute defense to protect Chloe. Huh? Mr. Tempest? Miss Hinata? No offense meant to Venom, of course, but Chloe was focused solely on Hinata. That was understandable. I was worried for her, too. Luminous ran up to Hinata, gauging her wound. Miss Hinata! Don't die! Chloe! Hey! Before I could stop her, Chloe started running. The other kids were taking her cue, so I hurriedly used paralyzing breath to knock them out. Giving Venom some healing potion, I tasked him with protecting them. Chloe. Chloe. Is that really Chloe? Leon was acting incredibly suspicious, but that had to wait. Chasing after Chloe, I ran up to Hinata, keeping a careful eye on Granville as I sized her up. Whoa! Look out! Hey, Luminous. Silence! The spirit particles are eating into her fast. Too fast. Her physical wounds were now healed, but Hinata was growing weaker by the moment. The melt strike particles were destroying her spiritual body, and in time, they'd start whittling down her astral body as well. And at that point, not even Hinata could. Just then, Hinata barely opened her eyes. Good, Hinata! You gotta stay awake for me! No, Lady Luminous, Oh man, Hinata was in serious trouble. But not even Hinata, or not even Luminous, much more versed in holy magic than I was, could rescue Hinata from the brink of death. That's how fearsome Granville's strike was. Chloe, I'm glad you're safe. Even with blood flowing from her mouth, Hinata tried her best to sit up. Her will was like steel. I'm sure she couldn't see any longer, but her lips were still taking the form of a smile. She turned towards Chloe and raised a shaky right hand, the one holding her moonlight sword and bearing the Holy Spirit armor bracelet. Chloe, I want you to have this. I couldn't be much of an instructor to you, but I know you can surpass me. Her voice was hoarse, but it was clearly coming through to the sobbing Chloe. Miss Hinata. Chloe's hand gingerly touched Hinata's, and the next moment, Hinata's body began to glow, the light seemingly flowing into Chloe through her fingers. Was I seeing this right? Because not even Luminous was reacting at all. It was like time was stopping. No! Chloe screamed. This can't be happening. It's too early. Why? Chloe? The moment I tried calling for Chloe, she vanished, almost like she was never there at all. I snapped back to attention. What was that? Chloe? Where's Chloe? Rimuru, what did you do to Chloe? I have no idea what just happened. Leon had me by the shoulders now, demanding an explanation, but I was clueless. Seriously, where did Chloe go? Did she really just disappear? But at least Leon seemed to believe me. He looked around the area panicked, and even I couldn't hide my confusion. I had absolutely no clue what was going on.
Unknown. This is an abnormal
Hmm.
situation. Failed to grasp the full extent of what happened to the subject, Chloe Albert.
And surprisingly enough, Raphael, whom I could usually rely on for well nigh everything, didn't have any idea either. Right now, I had no time to just stand there and ponder this.
Yeah, seriously, what
Oh,
the fuck is
shit.
going on?
Yeah, it's like,
Ralph, wait, what do you mean you don't know?
I
If you
don't know!
then what do you mean? If you know
Yeah.
everything.
Look, I don't
Yeah.
know what I don't
Uh,
know.
It's true.
Well, Hinata's
It's-
dead. That's what we all know for sure.
This wasn't in the book.
Here's the question.
This wasn't in the script.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
Is she? Because she
yeah,
hasn't-
yeah.
Either that or
Because she
she's
hasn't-
used with Chloe.
Because she hasn't died yet. She's dying.
Mm,
She's
mm.
dying. She's not
Dying in the
dead.
process of.
She's not
Yeah.
dead. So at
Mhm.
this point in time, we're still in the present of her
Yeah.
dying. We're not in the
The
past
present.
of she's dead. Error, error, error. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's like, what
that's
the
where
fuck?
we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so guys, if you think the ending of Log Horizon Abridged was an ass pull, may I introduce you to Slime?
Mm. It's some wibbly wobbly timey
The
wimey
second
fucky
supposed
shit
death
going
Guys,
on.
Hinata.
and guys, if you're like, oh my god, where did this ending suddenly and abruptly come from with Log Horizon Abridged? Fuck you. Have you seen how crazy season 2 of Log Horizon was? And just how
I
fast
still
and
have to watch it.
dramatically it just went places? Fuck you. We did the best with what we
Fuck
could.
you.
Fuck you. We
Mm.
did the best
Fuck
with
you.
what we could.
Fuck me. No, you.
Mm. Oh, we're at the dot.
We're at the dot.
Oh, the dogs.
Yeah, we're at the
Yeah.
dot. But I mean, we've still got.
Yep.
We've still got.
Yeah,
10
I
more
know.
minutes.
It's got time. I was just
We
like, I
still
was
got
wondering where
10
it
more
was.
minutes, and we've got another big
Yep.
dot, and we've got another big dot
Mhm.
coming up soon, and
Gotcha.
a picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also,
Yay.
The
we've
disappearance
got.
of.
Also,
oh,
we've got a picture of
oh.
young Granville coming up, so we get to see young Granville.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, suave. Yep.
Oh,
Mr.
hell
Suave.
yeah.
Suave. All right, so here
The
we
dis-
go.
Yep. The disappearance of young Chloe was not a concern to Luminous. Her own friend was more important to her right now. Her resurrection spell had deployed itself, but it feebly dissipated in the air, much to her shock. Why? Barely any time has passed since her death. Why? Luminous could see it, even with Hinata's body back in perfect condition. Her insides, her soul, the most important thing of all, was lost.
Ah, now
Hinata.
she's dead.
Hmm.
Now she's dead.
Okay,
There we go. Now we've caught up to dead. There we go.
Mhm. Hinata, forgive me. I was here for you. And still, you had to endure this. A single tear fell from her eye. was greeted by a boorish voice interrupting her. I wish you wouldn't wail like that. This, too, is exactly as I aimed for. My final plan is going quite smoothly, Luminous. Only Granville was smiling at the sequence of events. It greatly irritated Luminous. Now she wasn't even allowed to mourn her or have allowed time to mourn Hinata's death. You will pay for this. You will. I will tear you apart! The scream was as loud as it was furious. Her face was reddened with intense rage. The rage she felt by having Hinata, her favorite, taken before her eyes. Her mind was filled with despair at how powerless she was, incapable of doing anything. It stirred her demon lord heart in ways that couldn't even compare with what Valdora laid waste to, or with when Valdora laid waste to her kingdom long ago. The emotion stimulated her mind, like ripples on the surface of a cup filled to the brim with water. And the trembling force on her previously suppressed emotions caused a change inside of her. The world language echoed like a bell calling Luminous to the loftiest of heights, like none that even her almost limitless abilities had taken her.
Confirmed. Conditions met. The unique skill Lust has evolved into the ultimate skill, Asmodeus, ruler of lust. That's
Shit.
right. She just evolved a
fuck.
fucking skill. She just gained an ultimate skill.
Holy fuck. At
Just
that
like
moment,
Dragon Ball, the rage gives you powers.
it's true.
You went Super Saiyan!
It's very extremely potent. At that moment, the massive power within Luminous evolved into even more intense, vicious heights, into the realms of the ruler of the skies. Asmodeus, the evolved skill she just gained, held sway over life and death itself. The powerlessness she felt at Hinata's death was exactly what awakened Luminous to it, but she did not react. Now her instincts told her even this ability would be meaningless. It doesn't matter any longer. It's too late. I was useless right when it counted. It doesn't matter to me anymore. All but ignoring the world of language, Luminous continued to seethe with rage.
There's the picture.
Holy shit, there's his chin. Wow.
Oh no, he's
Good.
hot.
Oh no, he's hot.
Yeah.
Ah!
So, oh,
Oh god, I'm a rat!
so, you wanted to settle matters.
No, it's pronounced so
Yeah.
A.
Oh.
So A.
So a,
Yeah.
so a,
So A.
So,
Good.
So A.
so a.
So A.
No way, so
So
a.
A. So A. So A.
no way.
Yeah.
Guys, we're actually gonna.
Mhm.
I've decided we're actually just gonna finish this chapter because we don't have a lot left.
Okay,
Yeah, we might as well
All
finish
right.
chapter 4 because
okay,
like there's not.
Yeah, might as
much
well.
left.
yeah. So, you
Hey.
wanted to settle matters. Yes, or yes, Luminous. You're evolved, haven't you? I hadn't anticipated that, but it's a fine thing to see. Her blue and red heterochromic eyes blazed as they stared straight at Granville, full of hatred. Suddenly, the disappeared girl flashed into her mind, but she banished any sentiment from it. This wasn't what I heard would happen, but that no longer matters. Prepare to face the afterlife, Granville. And so open battle began between Luminous and Granville, the culmination of a rivalry that had lasted over 1,000 years. All I could do was watch as Luminous treated Hinata's mortal wounds. The resurrection spell had administered perfectly, but had no effect. I couldn't believe it. As long as the soul was intact, resurrection should also work, restoring the spiritual and or astral bodies as needed. So what went wrong?
Understood. The soul of the subject, Hinata Sakaguchi, appears to have vanished. It was impossible to restore the lost data particles by any method.
Her soul's gone? No. I knew it. That was the second time Hinata fell, so I could tell the difference all too well. And I was sure Luminous did too. But a soul would normally never fade out of existence this quickly. I suppose we were holding out hope that we had just lost sight of her soul by some mistake. That was a fruitless dream. I didn't think Luminous would be this thrown by it, though. She and Hinata must have been closer than I knew. And this was my business, too. I started to think about why this was happening, which made it hard to collect my thoughts. Now wasn't the time for regrets. This wasn't what I heard would happen, but that no longer matters. Prepare to face the afterlife. Granville! With Luminous's scream, I realized just how out of it I was. Spacing out in battle. What was wrong with me? That's just asking to be killed. I had to save my sadness for later and do everything I could here. Luminous's words seemed odd to me, but I could think about what she meant later. I had calmed down. Things hadn't been settled yet. If I had lost my temper and got defeated, then Hinata's death, and the efforts of everyone else, would have been wasted. It was a pretty forced effort, but I successfully managed to move on. If Luminous's scream had come any later, things probably would have gotten worse, because the next instant the whole cathedral was engulfed in a massive explosion. The light and shockwave from the blast burst out from the entrance to the middle of the site. Its speed was intense, but still yawn-inducing compared to the speed of light. Keeping my mind cool, I stepped up to protect the children and musicians. I turned an eye towards Shion and the others out of concern, but Diablo, who had returned at some point, had put up a protective barrier for them. Sorry I'm late. No, I'm just glad you made it, I said, thanking Diablo. However, the real surprise was Shion. Ranga had noticed both the explosion and Diablo, but Shion still seemed to be entirely focused on the enemy in front of her. Her expression was terrifying, her face flushed, as if intoxicated by the blood around her. It was oddly kind of alluring, albeit definitely improper for a battlefield, but well. Despite being on the defense
weirdest
before.
boner right now.
That's weird, dude. What kind of segue is that anyway? Anyway, it looked like she was holding her own, which was good. I think I'll leave Razul to Shion and Ranga for now. I examined the cause of the explosion. The first thing that struck me was a gigantic aura, an evil presence, one that felt like your spine was freezing solid. This was more than just a bad feeling. It was an intense pressure, like the sky was falling down on you. Although didn't it feel a bit like the high-level elemental spirit that fused with Chloe? Resembled that, but seemed a little different as well. The sheer size of this presence reminded me of what I felt with Chloe back then.
Report. The object is a material body. Pardon me.
Hydrate.
All good.
Unusual amount
Yep.
of existential energy detected. Its maximum level is equivalent to that of the subject Veldora.
Great. We've got a monster here. At least Raphael could measure it this time, although that didn't calm my nerves much. If this was operating on sheer instinct like the Chaos Dragon, I could deal with that. But if it was sentient, I was screwed. Especially if it actually had battle experience. Just imagining that scared me. I'd lose without a fight then. We're talking energy several times my own, and either way, I had a feeling I'd have to deal with it. Would this be enough to be considered dire straits by this point? Yes. Then the smoke cleared, revealing an incredibly beautiful woman, naked as the day she was born. She stood there, eyes closed, her lustrous dark hair fluttering as she shone in a silvery light. Excuse me. It was like something out of a fantasy, and I was immediately smitten. But now wasn't the time to stop and stare.
Again, weirdest boner.
Are you the one who took my ark? And you've even undone my spiritual seal and awoken Chronoa! Luminous was now shouting at a much more familiar figure who had just entered the scene. It was Yuki. So he's in on this too? Part of me still wanted to believe in him, but I guess Raphael was right after all. And given the choice, I was always going to trust Raphael first. I thus felt no surprise at all as I turned my icy gaze to Yuki. So, you're involved in this? Oof.
So you're
Guess
involved
you
in
know,
this?
huh?
It's like, yeah.
Alright, so you're involved in this? Oof. Guess you know, huh? Well, that works too, so he spoke entirely off the cuff, not being shy at all. I was dealing with the real Yuki right now, no doubt, but he's a lot more shameless than I thought. Behind him were two unfamiliar people wearing masks, an asymmetrical one leering at me and the other one looking angry. I assumed those were Laplace and Footman from the Moderate Gestures, and although I had a hunch about it before, I guess they really were linked with Yuki. So, you're Luminous. My name's Yuki Kagarazaka. It's an honor to meet you. Silence! How did you undo the seal? Well, about that. I got this really unique thing called anti-skill that lets me cancel any type of magic or special skill. I see. Rather daring of you to reveal that. Luminous shot Yuki a look full of loathing, although her senses were still firmly attuned on Granville. They were in a dead heat, and neither of them could afford any false moves. Granville himself was also eyeing the dark-haired girl, even as he dealt with Luminous's attacks and fired back with his own. Duels between two experts like this went far beyond the realm of mere skill. Yeah, well, Rimuru already knows, so there's no point in hiding it. But I want to ask you something too. Well, not you, but Granville over there. I can guess what it is, but go ahead. Yuki sounded casual, but his eyes were surveying the area around him, never resting. As long as Leon and I had freedom of movement, he knew he couldn't escape too easily, assuming he planned to, that is, but I'm sure he did. I really had no idea why he was even showing up at this point. Something told me he didn't anticipate this turn of events. With as many question marks as there were, moving around would be dangerous. I'd have to figure out from Yuki and Granville's conversation just what kind of situation we had fallen into. So, about the hero I heard was sealed inside that ark. I mean, controlling her turned out to be super easy. The seal just came right off. What's the deal with that, Granville? Hero? That girl's a hero? This was making even less sense now. Why would a demon lord keep a hero sealed away? And given how much Luminous seemed to care for her, this wasn't any kind of normal sealing. You're right, because this is both a hero and not a hero. Right now, that child is a personification of evil by the name of Cronoa. It was Luminous who answered Yuki, her voice filled with intense rage and a surprising fretfulness. Calling this girl Cronoa a personification of evil sounded pretty foreboding to me. She must have been something really dangerous. You did very well. You did very well, Yuki. Not even I could dismantle the elemental seal on that arc. That's why I took advantage of you. Now that she's released, nobody could ever defeat her. Attention, demon lords! Attention, servants of evil! All of you will die here today! Granville erupted into laughter as he shouted. Awfully kind of him, revealing everything without prompting like this. Sure helps me a lot. Not that it makes the situation any better. Well, guess I lost this game of wits, huh? You sure got me good. Yuki sounded surly about it. Sooner or later, though, this stalemate had to end, and now, with a relaxed motion, the dark-haired Cronoa started moving. With a light shake of her head, her eyes opened, and that was the signal for the free-for-all to begin. I could ask Luminous what she knew later. For now, I had to survive. Diablo, handle this area for me. Yes, my lord. It looked like he wanted to say something for a moment, but he meekly agreed, perhaps sensing the atmosphere. He probably wanted to fight, I think, but now wasn't the time for a back-and-forth conversation. I wasn't going to change my mind, and I'm sure he knew that. So that just left one question. What would I do now? Luminous and Gramna were at a stalemate. Shion and Ranga were fighting hard against Razul. Yuki's group was trying to escape, and while I didn't plan to let them, they were much less dangerous than Cronoa. I couldn't just leave them be, though, which posed a difficult issue. They might stab me in the back and forget about us fighting together here. Leon, meanwhile, had been acting like he was in his own little world for the past while. I honestly couldn't put much trust in him. Thus, I had few allies and lots of enemies. It was a dangerous or a disastrous situation, way too difficult to handle. Konoa's eyes were open. She looked naked to me before, but now I realized she had a single bracelet around one wrist. It was glowing, emitting black particles that wrapped around her body, a system something like Hinata's Holy Spirit armor. Her armor, however, was pure black and much sturdier than what Hinata wore. Next, Cronoa summoned a single sword, a beautiful rapier not unlike Hinata's Moonlight, albeit with a jet-black blade.
Report. Although its shape is identical, its latent statistics are incomparably higher.
That sword and armor were both apparently way better than Legend class. Her sword was as strong as mine, or maybe stronger, which meant it was God class. I suppose I could no longer be optimistic. It wasn't just a matter of knowledge. She may have even beaten me or had me beaten in skill, and I had a feeling her weapon could penetrate all my defenses. This was seriously becoming a do-or-die situation.
Report. The hostile subject Cronoa is...
I know, okay? I didn't need Raphael's analysis. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bad thing to shut up, but anyway. I didn't need Raphael's analysis to understand how scary this girl was. Following my instincts, I deployed absolute defense and commenced evasive maneuvers. Immediately after I began, a dark beam of light smashed through where I was just standing. It continued in a straight line, demolishing all obstacles it hit along the way. It was only stopped after breaking through a cathedral wall. This was beyond crazy. If I was just one step closer, I would have taken that head on. Would I withstood it? It all would have come down to luck.
Negative. Even with absolute defense from the ultimate skill Uriel, spiritual particles can still make their way through. It is only through predicting their movements and making the particles interfere with one another that they can be cancelled out. The hostile enemy's attack variation is greater than originally pictured, and prediction is therefore difficult. To sum up...
You can't defend it, right? Okay then. Absolute defense my ass. Now is no time for whining. I'd have to thank my own quick-wittedness for dodging that. And Cronoa was aiming her attacks at more than just me. Her next strike headed straight for Yuki, who couldn't quite dodge it, suffering a slight cut on his cheek. It wouldn't be nice to cheer for that, but hopefully nobody mind if I let out a bemused giggle.
Yay!
Still, yeah, like...
Go Cronoa!
Yeah.
Keep attacking
Yeah.
Yuki! Keep attacking
get her.
Yuki!
Or get him. Get him.
Put target focus
You
on
get
him.
him, girl! Go
Yeah.
get him, girl!
Rick and rake, stick that sword and steal that snake.
To that snake, yeah.
Sorry. Yep.
Jafar,
He just
Jafar,
spawned
Still.
he's
his
our man.
commentator desk.
Jafar,
Great.
he's our man. If he can't do
Get
it,
that ball
great!
and really fight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Still, Cronoa's attacks were astounding. Even Yuki's anti-skill was helpless against attacks purely physical in nature. I suppose I had cancel melee attack, but Yuki enjoyed nothing that convenient. He had powered up his whole body, but he was still merely human. I had thought of anti-skill as a major threat, but maybe there were a lot of holes to it after all. I had the time to ponder this while other people were fighting. Better come up with some kind of strategy before I'm aimed at again.
Suggestion. Deploy summon Storm Dragon, part of the ultimate skill Veldora, Lord of the Storm. Yes? No?
Hey, that sounds nice. I hated to use one of my most secret moves in front of such a big crowd, but it'd be even worse if I kept it hidden and fell into a hole I couldn't get out of. If I lost someone like Hinata, it'd be too late after that. Luminous's relationship with Veldora gave me some concern, but now was no time to hesitate. So I leaped at Raphael's suggestion. I'd been practicing in secret, so it felt natural now. Opening a soul corridor to Veldora, I called for him. Rimuru? Well, I hope you are happy with yourself going on a nice field trip without me. Great. He was dolefully pouting at me, and this wasn't a field trip. Wish he wouldn't lodge these accusations at me, but I didn't have time to argue. Times like these, you had to speak your mind. Veldora. Oh, sorry.
NY Knickers, 72. Thank you for the follow.
Oh, cool.
Hey!
Thanks. Good to see you. Good to have you on board.
Yes, yes.
At times like these, you had to speak your mind. Veldora, please, I need your help. Lend me your powers. With a soul corridor, you could communicate your emotions more directly than with thought communication. Normally, you wouldn't use a corridor for conversation, since any lies could immediately be spotted out. But if you really wanted to bare your soul, this was the best way. Thanks to that, I could tell Veldora seemed surprised. Oh, you need my power? Well then, you will find few companions as trustworthy as I. I can certainly understand why you rely on me so. Crap, did I egg him on too much? No, it'd be okay. Oh.
Zoshi,
Veldora
thanks
was
for the
bound
follow.
Yeah. Good to have you on board too. We're getting some cool new followers. It's great.
Yeah, we're getting some followers. Yay.
Great. Yeah. Veldora was bound to step up for me. I'm short on time. Can I call for you? Pfft, a silly question. You ask me so nicely, I could only respond in kind. Please, go ahead. I will exercise the full extent of my force. Veldora turned out to be just as trustworthy as I hoped.
Consent acquired. Consent is important, kids.
Always.
True.
Launching Summon Storm Dragon.
And in just a few scant moments, a gale force wind blew over the cathedral. Leon was struck dumb. Was I too late? The girl called Chloe was without a doubt the childhood friend he had been searching for, an effort he spent hundreds of years on. He had even dirtied his hands with certain forbidden methods in the attempt. And now she was here. She was here, but that little girl was gone. At first, Leon thought that Rimuru had done something, but he quickly dispelled that thought. After he saw it, the only conclusion to make was that something truly, or as he saw it, the only conclusion to make was that something truly unexpected and mysterious had happened. No, I can't give up on this yet. Just now I met her. There's going to be another chance. I'm sure of it. He decided to cling to that thought, persuading himself it was so. It helped him regain control, and by that time, things had suddenly begun to unfold quickly. A new enemy appeared, demonstrating unstoppable force. Her identity was unknown, but he could tell she had Rimuru playing defense, and Leon was no impartial observer. There was no guarantee he wouldn't be targeted next. Next, Yuki was attacked, dodging the strike with everything he had. Seeing that promptly made Leon realize that he was standing in a battlefield, but that realization came a little too late. People knocked out of the battle were already strewn near the cathedral wall. Leon had no way of knowing, but Rimuru had deposited them there so that they wouldn't get caught in combat. They were still alive, but completely unconscious, so Leon wasn't particularly wary of them. In normal times, he'd never make an error like that, but the shock of seeing this girl he pursued for so long suddenly disappear had made him lose his composure. Put it all together, and he had let his guard down. And that's why, for that one moment, he reacted too slowly. A small blast of magic shot out from near the cathedral wall. It didn't look very lethal as it made its way towards Cronoa, who was currently preparing another attack on Yuki. It certainly wouldn't damage her, but the blast did exactly what its creator intended. Cronoa turned around, her eyes settling on Leon. Trying to push her on me? Despite his reluctance, Leon had to cast off all the niggling concerns in his mind. If he took his eyes off Cronoa, he'd be dead the next instant. Unless he seriously fought this out, even a demon lord like him would have a disadvantage. And even with a full effort, there may be no way for him to win this. That was how strong a threat Cronoa had become, and with the way things are, Leon could no longer distract himself with other issues. One side of the battle was cheering at this. It was Yuki's group. Nice job, Tyr. What a great idea. I didn't think she'd help out like that. Now I'm glad I took out that insurance. This move on Tyr's part was originally meant to antagonize Rimuru against Leon, but the opportunity never arose. So Tyr kept playing possum. Her perseverance was rewarded at the perfect time. Now we can get out of here once Tyr makes it back. Being targeted by Cronoa made Yuki sweat bullets, but now he was his usual composed self, kicking back as he observed the fight between her and Leon. Thus, he could easily see Tyr clambering her way from the cathedral wall. He headed off to rescue her before Lapis finished up their preparations to retreat. By the time he was back with her, Lapis's spell was complete. All set, boss. Let's blow this joint. I hear ya, Yuki replied with a nod. I think Rimuru's up to something, so it'll be dangerous to stay put. Better get out of here fast. He raised his hand up high, knocking out the magical barrier that covered the whole of Lubelius. Ho, 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 ho. Nice one, boss. Whenever I see it in action, your skill seems like such a cheat. Hey, if it lets us scram in a hurry, I'm all for it. As Lapis implied, escaping the center of the city with magical means would normally be impossible. Thanks to Yuki's power, though, they could modify anything and everything to their liking. It was a cheat, as Tyr put it, but if it got them out of here alive, nobody was going to complain. I don't know who's going to survive this, but whoever it is, I'm sure we're going to be enemies next time we meet. Anyway, good luck, guys. And with those final words, Yuki and his team left the battlefield. I could see Yuki and his cohorts escape. I resented that, making good on their retreat. With all these threats left for me to deal with, but when I thought about it, this actually worked out well. Someone like them, who could be either friend or foe, well, definitely foe right now, but teaming up with someone like that, I had no idea when they'd decide to betray me. It might have even become 2-on-1 against me, so having just one enemy to deal with would now definitely boosted my chances. The Western Holy Church held a great deal of influence among the Western nations. If I made a public statement and it received Luminous's agreement, Yuki would pretty much lose all standing in the West. Besides, the Free Guild was backed by the Council, and the boss of the Council was currently in active warfare against Luminous. If we won today, Yuki was no longer a threat. Convincing myself that his escape wasn't worth feeling down about, I sized up the enemy in front of me. Rimuru, is that not the hero who sealed me away? Veldora asked. Seems to be. I see. She is not masked, but the area around her lips is identical. I see my eyes do not deceive me. Beautiful, is she not? Veldora's speech accelerated as he bragged about her. Now really wasn't the time for this. I wondered if a true dragon even knew how to assess human beauty. It certainly led more credence to the theory that Veldora lost after falling for her good looks.
There's your answer, everybody.
I agree with you.
There's your
Yeah,
answer, everybody. Now everybody knows. Everybody knows.
He simped?
No, Chloe sealed Veldora.
Oh, okay. I was
There
gonna
it is.
say.
Holy shit. Yep.
Chloe sealed Veldora.
Yeah. That's
There you
it's
go.
fucking crazy to think about.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's like, holy shit. We come a long way.
We have come a long way.
Yeah. I agree with you, but right now she's our enemy. Luminous sealed her away, I guess, but she's out of anyone's control right now. I think she was meant to be insurance against you, so do something about this. How rude of you. Why are you ordering someone as irreproachable as me to do something? Who do you think you're talking about here, man? I almost had to applaud his audacity, but I didn't have enough time to put up with this nonsense. Enough jokes. Just take her on and buy me some time. Absolutely. We have a score to settle besides. I was just thinking about how much I wanted a rematch. Is it all right if I defeat her, it is all right if I defeat her, I assume? Wow, my hero. Although whenever anyone says that in a show or video game, they're basically doomed to lose afterwards. Yes, of course, have at it. Leave it all to me. I was defeated last time because I was in my dragon form. Now is a good chance to show you how much I've grown. I'm glad he's so confident, but hasn't he actually gotten weaker since then? I don't really see the logic behind being stronger as a human instead of a dragon, but I didn't want to rain on his parade when he was so enthusiastic, so I sent him off with a smile. Not like losing would kill him, that much I could be assured of. Are you all right, Leon? I asked, turning towards him. Cronoa was still looking right at us, so I kept an eye on her. Yes. Somehow. Don't leave yourself open. She's stronger than you can imagine. I decided to heal Leon a little. His sword was already cut in half, and he was thoroughly battered and bruised. I was impressed he held out this long, thanks to his efforts. I had enough time to successfully summon Veldora. I realized that the moment I saw her, you saw how wary Luminous was. I'm not expecting this to be an easy win. That was why I broke out Veldora at one of my last resorts. And so you called for Veldora. I won't ask how you did it, but having you as an ally is certainly reassuring. But even a true dragon will have his work cut out for him. That I knew as well. Cronoa, after all, was the very person who sealed him away. Are you hurt? No, I'm fine. I use an excessive amount of magical force to keep my sword intact, but this is nothing fatal. Of course, he couldn't save his sword in the end, and as unconcerned as he looked, I was detecting a lot of fake stoicism. I didn't have the excess capacity to protect Leon, so maybe this was the right thing to do after all? Good thing I kept my summoning to Valdora only. There was actually one other person among us. Are you all right, Sir Leon? It is good to see you again. This was Charis. My summoning hadn't gone perfectly after all, because Valdora insisted on bringing Charis along with him. Are you... Well, okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
here
he's
too.
here too?
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did what?
Our-
What?
I mean, he probably like hopped through the portal somehow.
He just
Or
came along.
You're
he
coming
was
with me.
underneath the code.
Yeah.
He was underneath Valdora's code, like hanging on. Like,
three kobolds in a trench coat.
yeah. Are you Ifrit? Leon asked. Yes. I have now received the name Charis, and I am in the service of Sir Valdora. Ah, well, glad to see you are in good health. I was unable to read your true intentions, thus I failed to reach an understanding with Shizue Izawa. Receiving Sir Valdora's guidance has helped me realize just how foolish I was. Has it? Leon nodded, although I wasn't wholly sure he was paying attention. He seemed to be brushing Charis off, but I didn't want to call him out on it. They both had similarly serious personalities, to be sure. Rimuru, Leon said, please buy me some time. I have a trump card of my own to reveal. I considered the chance he'd try to run, but even with what little time we had spent together, he didn't strike me as that kind of guy. Let's trust in him then. All right, I'll go support Valdora. Charis, defend this area until Leon's ready. Yes, my lord. Thanks. I appreciate it. We were all set to go. Leon promptly got to work on something, with Charis protecting him. The old master and servant team reunited. Me, I went back to the battlefield. It was time to kick off the final fight.
And that's where we'll stop.
Woo!
That was some good stuff there. But
Oh, yeah.
we will pick up with chapter 5 next week. The Hero Awakens. It's gonna be
Yep.
a long chapter. It'll be a couple of weeks, but yeah, that's gonna actually be the end of it.
Take the land that must be taken.
Okay.
Death clock.
No, we're not gonna. No, it's gonna take a couple of weeks for us to finish this up, but when we do, we will officially be done with volume 11, and then yeah, it's gonna go all the way to 360, and then which is funny because we're starting off at 299, so. Depending on how this goes, we might actually be able to get this done in maybe a week or two. Yeah, probably
2 weeks,
somewhere-
I say.
Let's just say two.
I'd say 2 weeks. It just depends on how quickly we run through this. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
No, we go.
My prediction is 2
Who
weeks,
knows?
but we'll see.
Who knows?
Yeah, let's just keep it as
depends.
two.
It just depends. But next week is going to be some big revelations. Next 2 weeks is going to be some big revelations going through with this. Got some interesting stuff. I will say that my background over the course of the next week or so is definitely going to change. Things are going to look different. Deal with it. Ow.
Don't
Don't
You
worry,
okay?
smack something.
Yeah, I smacked my knuckles on the bed.
Oh.
Also, up here is
Fun.
going to look different. Stuff is going to be going away. The process of like packing stuff up and moving is going to happen. Even if I haven't moved out, stuff will have gotten packed up. My room is going to get
Boxes.
things in my room is going to get stored away. I will be streaming stuff as time goes on because I'm going to have to box some stuff up and move some stuff away, which reminds me I'm streaming over on my channel because I'm going to have to raise money to move because I have to get stuff to box everything up, and I have to bomb.
It's gonna be a lot.
I have to bomb everything that I am storing because I'm not taking the bugs with me. So that's part of it.
Roach bomb.
I have to.
Oh,
I have
yeah.
to bomb my dishes. I have to bomb my books, and
Yep.
some of the posters and all that stuff that I'm taking with me, and like some of the pictures and stuff like that to make sure that I don't bring any bugs and stuff with me, and those, and the electronics. I have to bomb all the electronics that I'm taking with me. To
Just
make
make sure you use Nova Bomb. Sorry, that's a
Scorch
Fox in
Earth
Space 2 reference.
Protocol.
Nice.
Oh, okay. I was like, is there an
Yeah.
actual brand? I didn't. I was like,
No. There's a joke in a Fox in Space 2 about a cleaning product called Nova Bomb,
Oh, okay.
and the scum is talking to the guy in the commercial, going, "You should have used Nova
Oh
Bomb,"
dear lord.
as it's like growing and like
I
encroaching over the
I
bathroom.
also have to. I'm also trying to raise
Mm.
money to make sure that I'm buying like a bunch of new I'm probably gonna have to buy a bunch of new multi outlets as well, because I just figure I'm probably gonna have to buy new ones instead of like use the old ones, because like bugs have gotten into the old ones. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just buy new ones,
Yeah.
and it may
Yeah.
just be easier that way, just to buy new ones and just when I get to the new place
Start fresh.
Yeah, starting fresh.
At least you
I'm-
could add and
I'm
improve the
probably
old
not gonna
on that
take
then.
most of my furniture with me, so just trashing a bunch of my furniture is gonna be part of it too. Just so it's like, yeah, that, and then
Are you gonna leave it out on the side of the road and like someone's gonna get it?
no,
I was
I'm
gonna say that's how people get rid of stuff over here.
taking it to the dump.
They just gotta leave it on the side.
More than likely, I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to
same.
take a lot of it to the dump, because we
Yeah.
have roaches and bed bugs. So no,
Oh, fun.
not leaving
Lovely.
it on the side of the road. I am taking it to the dump. So
Mhm.
also, he's probably only gonna be here for like another week or so, and he's the one that has the truck. So I have a limited amount of time to haul all this stuff off. So yeah, that's
Stuff.
and that means I have this. I only have like a little while left with this bed up here.
Mm.
So I have this mattress and everything. So have a little while left with this loft bed.
Yeah.
And then I will probably have his room is gonna get cleared out and vacuumed and everything and cleaned out, and I'm probably just gonna move this mattress into his room. And I'll sleep there and have like my setup and everything just right here, and that'll be that.
Well, hopefully it'd be a
I'm gonna
better
get
place
rid
for
of-
you.
I'm gonna get rid of all the lighting setup and everything, the green screen and all that other stuff, because I'm not using it, and there's no need for it. Like I've had this stuff for years and I've not used it, and it's probably infested with all sorts of crap, and I'm just gonna
Roaches.
get rid of it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna do something with the light bulbs. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the light bulbs, but I'm just gonna get rid of them. There's like literally nothing to do with them. I don't know what I can do with them. I'm gonna get rid of them, and yeah. So I'm just gonna. There's gonna be a lot of trash that we're gonna have to get trash back. So yeah, I've got like, I'm gonna have to raise money. At least probably somewhere around $70 just for like the amount of stuff that we need to buy just for trash bags, moving
Storage.
boxes, storage, all that stuff. Yeah, and then just the moving costs of everything.
Best of luck to you on that, man. You can do it.
And that's for when we finally get the apartment, because we're still that's still technically up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot that they do that. It's like,
Yeah. So, yay, fun
oh,
times.
well,
Mhm.
Yeah. So, but those are just my personal problems that I'm having right now, guys. Plug whatever you need to plug for your stuff right now. I have to run to the restroom, so just
for
do
my
that
stuff.
please.
Okay.
For our stuff.
While I
Let me see.
Go to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Snuggle Velocity.
Maybe
I'm
subscribe
working
to
on
my
Mario
future
Party
YouTube channel.
right now, and I may be working
That'll
on
be
the next
fun.
part of the Markiplier in space or some other video.
That could
I'm
be cool.
debating on what to work on right now.
Markiplier in space.
It's good stuff.
I don't know. I don't have anything
I
within
might actually
reach
start
that I can
recording that.
promote
I'm
right
not sure
now.
when I'm gonna start recording that second part, but it's been a while. So
I need to make sure it's good with Richie, but hopefully tomorrow we will also be doing another double stream of Resident Evil 1. Probably around the same-ish time. That's more 5 p.m. my time. That's Eastern Standard. What else? Anything else? That's kind of it.
I would
oh,
say thank you for our new followers. That's cool
Oh
too.
yes, of
Yes,
course.
definitely.
How can we forget about that?
Thanks for having
also,
me
my
here.
Konosuba
If you're still here.
reactions,
but-
I will be uploading probably. I'm probably gonna upload them tonight. I've got to figure out how,
Mhm.
because we're not making announcements and links for it on Patreon anymore. It's gonna be through Discord. So I've got to
Mhm.
figure out how that's going to work. And
I
whether
forget.
still
Is
Should we
that
link
with you
the
and
Discord and
Richie,
Twitter
or is that
into
just
the
you?
chat?
do what?
I think it's with him and Richie.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Well, the Mashoku Tensei was me and Richie, but Konosuba is just me.
Oh, okay. I was
But
gonna
it's
say if
still
it
a
was
lot
both
of fun
like,
because
I'd be
it's
happy to
Konosuba.
join on that.
I have a
but-
lot of talks. It's great.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
How you enjoy? Oh yeah, you're. Oh yeah, now they got the Megamine series too, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yep, I
That's
forgot about
definitely
that. They made a Mega
going
Meat
on the list. I'm actually.
I might actually want to join
watching
you with that
two
one. Maybe.
currents now. I'm keeping up with Mashal and Oshinoko because boy, once
heard those
Oshinoko
are
started to
cool.
blow up, I was like, damn, I guess I will watch it.
Hmm.
It's the Idol show, right?
That's a
Question mark.
That's not a good way to describe it.
All right, we
Oh.
did
You'll cry.
shameless plugs.
Just watch it.
Okay,
Richie's back.
We did shameless plugs. We're good. Okay.
Yep. On my screen, Moon and I have
Oh, I
fused
know,
into a
Shem-
homunculus.
Fucking.
Yep.
Stream tomorrow. RE. Same time last time.
Oh yeah. We can do Resident Evil stream. I don't know how long that's gonna go if I'm helping him with moving stuff.
That's
so
fine.
I'm not 100%.
If you end up needing to cut it short or
Mhm.
anything, I could probably try to just stream on my own a bit, just cause
yeah,
like
that's fine.
I gotta build my own following,
Yeah, no. That's
and I'll let
fine.
you know how far I get, cause it
Okay.
won't take you too long to catch up.
Well, it'll take you a little bit to catch up because I'm not like crazy far ahead of you. I'm a little bit
yeah, I
ahead
know,
of
but
you.
I'm saying if I get further than you, you're gonna catch up so quick. 'cause you already know what's
I
happening.
know kind of where I'm going. I'm only a little bit ahead of you. I got to Lisa's cabin, so I'm a bit further ahead of you because I did Lisa's cabin.
I don't even know where that's at.
That's you did the mid boss fight in the graveyard. And you fought the Red Eye in the graveyard.
Yeah.
You fought Trevor.
Yeah, I did.
In the graveyard. You
Mr.
literally
Belmont.
fought Lisa's father in the graveyard. We're playing Resident Evil 1.
Mm.
The Resident
Yeah.
Evil 1 remake.
Ah.
Yeah. All right,
Mm.
so we've started. He's not played any Resident Evil games, right? Technically,
This is
he
the
I haven't
could.
first
either,
time I went
actually.
through it.
Technically, he could have started with Resident Evil 0, but like,
Mhm.
You
Resident
gotta
Evil
have
0.
the progression.
To be
You gotta
fair,
follow the way
to
it
be
came
fair,
out.
Resident Evil 0 is actually more of a watch and don't play kind of game.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
So it's
more,
like
It's
Metal
like more
Gear.
like a movie.
It's the story is good. It's from a gameplay perspective, it's not as fun, you know.
Mm.
You get
Gotcha.
popcorn.
So it's
as
more
your
of like
snack
a
before.
playable movie.
Yeah, to be
like Metal
fair,
Gear, yeah.
it's more interesting. It's more interesting from the story playthrough, and when you play through as Jill in Resident Evil 1, you don't even actually interact with the character that
Okay.
you play as in Resident Evil 0. You have to play as Chris to actually interact with Rebecca.
Ah.
Rebecca's
Interesting.
character doesn't show up in Jill's playthrough. And here's the funny thing, he's playing through we're doing a Jill playthrough. That's the interesting thing about the Resident Evil franchise. You have to play it. You can't play through the game one time. You have to go back and play through the other character.
It's gonna be a long set of games, so make sure you eat up. Make
Yeah.
sure you pack plenty of Jill
Yeah, now there's
sandwiches.
4.
Jill sandwiches, yeah, dude.
Jill
Yeah,
sandwiches.
Yeah,
Jill
yeah.
sandwiches.
Yep.
Resi 4.
Yeah, he told me about that line. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
Yeah,
You almost Jill
well,
sandwich,
with four, you don't have multiple playthroughs. It's with one.
Mhm.
With 3, you have. With 3, you actually same thing with 3 as well. You play as Jill,
Yeah.
and then there's a period of time where you play as Carlos, and then you go back to playing as Jill. But
Carlos.
Car-
Kind of
Carlos.
interested in getting to 7. I've watched some people play through parts of 7. I haven't watched the whole thing though. So, and I remember that place looked very interesting.
for 5 and 6, it is co-op. Like you can play co-op for 5 and 6.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
But for Resident Evil 2, you have for Resident Evil 2 remake, you have Leon A and Leon B, and you have Claire A and Claire B.
Mm.
And yeah, it's all sorts of fun. So when we get to Resi 2
That's good.
remake, that's when the fun begins. Especially because I have like we'll probably play it semi-regular. I say semi-regular because there's no way in hell I'm gonna play it like he's playing it. I've already played it the normal route. No.
Which is fair. I got to watch
No.
you go through it with like infinite ammo on your fucking grenade launcher and rocket launcher.
All the mods and
Like, all right,
whatnot.
shoot
Yeah.
that
No,
body,
that's
shoot
not a
that body,
mod.
shoot that
No.
body.
I'm not
It's
playing
not a
it.
mod.
That's not a mod. That's
Oh
earned.
no, not that one. No.
No,
but
no,
I
no.
meant, like,
Oh,
I've
well,
also
I
seen
had
you play with
mods. I had mods on, and I'm gonna play with mods. I'm not gonna play 18 plus mods. I am gonna put
No.
mods
Are
on.
you gonna
because they were streaming it.
are you gonna
Yeah,
at least gonna put the one that gives Leon a tramp stamp?
Yeah, X go
No,
give it to you.
no. But
Oh.
I am gonna put. All right, here's the mod. Here's the mod guaranteed that I am gonna put on. I am going to use Buff Pie mod.
Yeah.
I
That
am
one's
gonna
really
put.
good.
I am gonna replace Mr. X with Buff Pie mod. That's gonna be
I
beautiful.
forgot. Mr. Thick.
Mr.
Yeah.
Thick, Mr. Buff
Mhm.
Paimon, and I am gonna give.
Mhm.
I am
You
gonna
all
replace.
laughed at me, and now Paimon's gonna kick your ass.
Yeah, I love that, and I am gonna replace. I am gonna replace the Mr. X theme with. I am gonna replace Mr. X's theme song with the
Very nice
Katamari
circulation.
Damacy.
Na, 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 na,
Na,
na,
na,
na,
na,
Oh,
na,
yeah.
na,
Choo,
na,
choo,
na,
choo,
na,
choo,
na,
choo,
na,
choo,
na.
choo, 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 choo,
I
choo,
fucking
choo,
love that
choo,
game.
choo,
You're like,
I played that like a month ago.
That was
beat it
so
and everything.
funny.
I fucking love the music out of it.
That's so funny. That's so funny, dude. Tangents may happen. They always happen, dude.
They always have.
But yeah, good times, good times. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with us. If you want to check out any of these crazy streams that are going to be happening for our Resident Evil playthroughs, they're going to be going on tomorrow. My random channel over Richie Robert 16 and
Moonlight Sparks.
yeah, twitch.tv/Richie Robert 16, twitch.tv/Moonlight Sparks. There we go.
Maybe I
That
should start
is
streaming at some point.
that is it for us. We will be chilling. All Fat Dog content while the channel is down is going to be happening here on the Twitch channel. So make sure you guys are here and checking out the channel for all content available. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
basically it. We'll see you guys
Thank you guys.
later.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.
See you all
Bye.
next week. Bye bye. We done yet?
I'm waiting to see
No.
how long he's going to hold this note.